Welcome to Bulldog Classics. I'm your host, Luke Jebb, and we're rewinding the history tapes today to check out one of the greatest football games of all time. The matchup is going to be between the Riverside Brookfield Bulldogs and the Hilltoppers from Joliet Catholic. With me today, I have Dan Sharp and Otto Zeman, both the head coaches from the game, as well as the QB and Tim Brasic. So, right now I just want to paint a little bit of a picture for you viewers at home. What exactly did the game look like, guys? I mean, Mr. Zeman, what did you think of the game? What were fans thinking going into it?
Well, it was a matchup that people anticipated. I think as soon as the pairings came out, well, for us, we knew at the beginning of the year we had a great team coming back. We had Tim and a lot of starters coming back. Joliet Catholic was a defending state champions. That's as good as it gets, and everything kind of focused and narrowed down to that night when we were going to play.
Fair enough. Mr. Sharp, do you have any idea what the general records for the teams were? I mean, going into the game?
Well, I know RB was undefeated going into the game and
Really?
had set all kinds of state records offensively. And without a doubt was one of the best offense. We were going into uncharted territory going against this offense with the skill level they had, the outstanding coaching, and then with Tim pulling the trigger and running that offense. But it was a great night. It was a wonderful event. The crowd was unbelievable. We had one loss. We lost to Mount Carmel earlier in the year, and but it just set up. The stage was set for a perfect game. And as we were talking earlier, I think it was one of those games where the players played beyond the hype of the game. It was just an outstanding game and well played.
Not very often that you see a player kind of go beyond what was expected of them or whatnot. Tim, what was going through your head, before the game?
Well, I know Coach Zeman made a good point. He said, guys, go out and look at the crowd and enjoy this. People that don't know, the traffic was backed up, I think, to Cermak or even farther on First.
No, to Stevenson, actually.
To the Stevenson on First Avenue.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, there was people in trees, and I remember I went out there and I just looked up, and Chewy Stadium only holds, what, a couple thousand?
It was. I think the attendance is like our normal attendance is 25 or 3,000, and we stopped selling tickets at 8,000.
Yeah.
We had to have meetings, and it was, like I said, it was so anticipated. When we got here for the game, people were lined up 3 and 4 deep outside the stadium trying to get in, and it was one of those things where we were saving seats, but I think, as Coach Sharp said, the greatest thing about it was a big crowd where people were intermingled. It was a Joliet Catholic fan standing next to RB fans. The crowd was awesome. The people that watched the game were awesome. The officials were awesome. Both teams, somebody had to lose, which wasn't awesome for us, but it really was a classic, and it really was a game that, I'll never forget that most of the people that were involved, one of the things I'll never forget about it, we had watched them play against St. Viator the week before, just smashed them up there. Really? So I told our guys, I said, as Tim said, I said, when the game starts, I said, when they come out to warm up, I said, everyone, I want you to go over and look at them right away, because they were an exceptionally large football team. I said, it's going to be something you got to look at. So get over it. So you're going to be psyched out by their size, but look at it right away. Well, when they came out, when I saw them play the week before, I hadn't been on field level.
Really?
So I didn't realize how big they were. Wow. When they came out and I looked over, I was psyched out. I said, oh my God, they're bigger than I thought.
Wow.
And they were wearing all white, and all white just adds to the size.
Just intimidating overall. So, Mr. Sharp, what were you looking for out of this game? I mean, we don't have a whole lot of time, but what, considering they have very contrasting offensive styles, what were you thinking going into the game?
Well, exactly. It's great that the sport of football, you could have two totally different types of offensive styles. And we both hung our hat on our offense that year. I think the main thing that we wanted to do is have our offense play defense. We didn't want to have Tim Brasic and Coach Zeman have that ball on offense. We wanted to limit the number of touches they could have. And we felt the best way was doing that is continue to run the ball, run our power game, run a little misdirection, keep the chains moving, and just eat the clock up as best we can. But the thing was we did have to try and finish with scores. We couldn't just, turn the ball over. We were just, every time they had the ball, it's like if you're sitting on the edge of your chair and you're ready to fall back. That's the feeling I had every time, because I felt like at any moment they were going to hit the big player score. And so that was our plan going all the way, is that if we could shorten the number of touches that they would have and then allow us to eat some clock up and grind the ball out, that was our plan.
Okay, fair enough.
Ours on the other side, I really knew we had a good defensive team, but I didn't think we could stop them because of their size and the way they were. And I remember telling Jerry Blue, who was our offensive coordinator, I said, if you can stop them 3 times, we'll have a chance. We never stopped them 3 times, but we knew we were going to onside kick every time. And we were hoping
Wow.
that every time we got an onside kick, that would be like another possession for us that they
Sure.
didn't have. And that's kind of how the game played out.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, it looks like it's going to be a great game for our viewers at home. So, now let's go to the first quarter
we are
action.
moments away. Joliet Catholic won the toss. They will receive. Back deep, Jake Jaworski and Bobby Wilkinson are back deep for the Hilltoppers.
Well, Mark, the only thing that may be uncertain about this game was that initial coin toss. Otherwise, I think these teams are going to be pretty predictable in the way they approach this game. And we'll see GCA with the ball first. Boy, this is, you can cut the tension with a knife out here tonight. What a great night for high school prep football in the Chicagoland area.
Ryan Dollins will kick it off. Oh, they try an onside kick. They tried this a couple times last week, but it looks like Joliet. No, RB has recovered. Well, Tom, last week in their victory over Geneseo, they did that a couple times, and here they start out, and they got the ball in the onside kick.
What an unpredictable situation to start the ball game. RB comes out, and boy, you got to believe that they're going to come out blazing with all guns as they go to a quick set. Mark, take it away. They're going to line up 5 receivers out there to start the ball game, just as predicted. No backs, just Brasic in the backfield.
4 wideouts here to the near side. It is an unorthodox type of offense. It is an exciting type of offense. Brasic here out in the flat. This is Chatone Powers. We'll touch on him. He gets inside the 40 and knocked down at the 35-yard line. Close to a first down for the Bulldogs. The third member of our broadcasting crew. We'll get to Mike Zaworski down on the sidelines in just a moment. But we'll set this explosive Riverside Brookfield offense for you. We touched on Tim Brasic. 5 wideouts, Powers, Brandon Davis, Matt George, Matt Tierney, Tom Guardi. Up front, Dave McShane, Nick Whitman, Luke Sikora, Mike Baruka, and Alex John, the offensive unit for this Riverside Brookfield team. Brasic goes to the far side now and has Powers. Powers cuts to the inside, and he gets down at the 26-yard line. Another first down, and now let's go down to Mike Zaworski, who's standing down. Mike, what have you got? All right, we'll get to Mike in just a moment. We do have Dan Sharp, the head coach of the Hilltoppers, him touching on Brasic. Get to that in just a moment here. 1st and 10, though, from the 25-yard line of Joliet Catholic. Brasic now comes here to the near side, and again it's Powers, but through the hands of Chatone.
Well, I'll tell you, there was a situation. They go student body left that time. They have 4 eligible receivers on the left side, and they basically throw a drop-off screen. You know, they're trying to mix things up, switching sides of the field. They go left on the first pass, right on the second pass, now back to the left side. It's a situation where they've got to try to disguise what they're doing and upset the defensive set by Joliet Catholic.
Defensively up front, Brad Singh, Jim Jadrin, Mike Kalauje, and Matt Matichek. Defensive line, 2nd down. Brasic now under some heavy pressure. He escapes 2 tackles, and he'll tuck it under and take it himself, go to the far side and go out of bounds. A pickup of 8.
Well, there's a situation, exactly what Joliet Catholic doesn't want to do. They've got to contain Brasic in the pocket somehow. They let him get outside. He's a dangerous, explosive runner, and he's just going to eat him up alive. I think he picks up about 7 on that play, Mark. 3rd and short for the Bulldogs.
Tim Brasic with 87 career touchdowns. That is a state record. Coming up, 2 minutes gone by here in this opening quarter. Riverside Brookfield with the onside kick. 3rd down, Brasic looking to his left, throwing, and the pass is tipped, and it is incomplete. It'll bring up 3rd down and 3.
It looked like Kalaji on the tip there. Kalaji getting the 6'8" arm up there to knock that ball away.
Let's go to the tape of Dan Sharp talking about Brasic.
The amazing thing about Timmy Brasic is his accuracy, consistent accuracy. He hits every player on the run. Reminds you of Joe Montana with Jerry Rice type players. He's like a Heisman Trophy tailback. He can run all over the place. He could put up 100 yards rushing at any given time. And then the third thing is his leadership. He runs the offense, and that's another entity that a lot of people don't talk about, because he has such a great mind and he sees the field so well that he can orchestrate this type of offense.
Quickly go down to the third member of our broadcasting crew. Mike Zawarski is standing by. Z-Force, what have you got?
Thanks, guys. You know, I was talking to Corey McLaughlin, the defensive coordinator for JCA, before the game. He's been with JCA for 25 years, every state championship team. He says this is hands down the best offense he's ever played against. Back to you guys.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. After the timeout here now, 4th and 3 from the 18-yard line. 3 wideouts here to the near side, 2 to the top of your screen. Bracek looking to his right, and it is incomplete. It will go over to the Hilltoppers of Joliet Catholic. The pass intended for Brandon Davis.
Well, let's credit the coverage on that one, because that was excellent coverage by GCA. They covered up the outside, and it forced Bracek to really make a pinpoint pass just off the fingertips of his receiver. And as a result, the Hilltoppers are going to take over with the ball, their possession deep in their own territory.
Joliet Catholic with a double wing offense. Of course, J.R. Zwerzinski, Chris Gruber, the 2 fine wingbacks. Both of them over 1,000 yards rushing on the season. We'll touch on that throughout the game. Up the middle, this is number 40, Brett Hetman. He's the halfback, a 5'11", 190-pound junior. Set this offensive unit for you, left to right. Chris Anastopoulos, Mike Zanelli, Jason Midlock, the center. The right side, Ryan Cox, Steve Douglas. Bobby Wilkinson, Mike Kaloje, we'll touch on Mike, and of course Craig Tomasino, the quarterback for the Hilltoppers. 6-yard gain, it's 2nd down and 4. Bounces off 1 tackle, that's about a 2-yard gain, and it'll bring up 3rd down and a couple. Well, once again, it was Hetman, so Coach Sharp going to the fullback here in the early going time.
Well, he hasn't had a lot of carries during the year. In fact, only 46 carries, 309 yards on the season. So he's one of the guys that's in there doing most of the blocking for the big ground gainers, Gruber and Zerwinski.
Well, he's spotted at the 29-yard line, so Hetman picks up the 1st down for the Hilltoppers. Here's Zwerzinski, and the big guy gets about 4 yards to the left side. J.R. Zwerzinski, an All-American. Let's go to Coach Zeman. Here's his thoughts on J.R. Zwerzinski.
JR is, we saw him play against Vider last week, and it was frightening. He's big, he's fast, he's a great high school football player. If he was on our team, I think we might even run the ball.
Well, we've got a flag down on the play. It looked like a face mask against the Bulldogs, so they'll mark it off.
Well, that's the first infraction there of the ball game. But I guess the question mark is a onside kick to start a game. Is that a turnover, or what do you call that? What category do I put that in?
That's a good question, Tom. But I'll tell you, Coach Zeman, last week they had a 4th and long early in the game. He decided to go for it. His assistant coaches looked at him kind of strangely, but they made the 1st down. Well, the ball carrier, this is Chris Gruber, and Gruber gets across the 45 to the 48-yard line. Chris, who was knocked out of last week's game with an injury to start the 2nd quarter, picks up a 7-yard gain, 2nd and 3, Tom.
Well, a nice blocking scheme there by GCA as the Hilltoppers come out with just a tide of white shirts out there clearing out the way. Here we can see on the replay as Hetman leads out the pulling guard. He just follows his blockers, picks up a hard-fought 6 yards, back to the action.
All right, from their own 46, 2nd and 3, this is Zwerzinski. And Zwerzinski gets a 1st down and more as he breaks a couple of tackles, and he gets brought down at the 35-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Hilltoppers.
Well, another 1st down for the Hilltoppers, and JR, I'll tell you, those cornerbacks for Riverside Brookfield, if they think they're going to bring down JR with a shoulder tackle, let me clue them in right now. They're going to have to hit him low and hit him hard.
A lot of people around the Joliet area comparing Zwerzinski to Mike Allstott, a member of that 1990 championship team for these Hilltoppers. Allstott, of course, a fine running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers of the National Football League.
Deuce backfield.
1st and 10 from the 36. Zwerzinski again. Boy, look at him cut up, and he gets knocked out of bounds by Jeremy Jelinek, the free safety. Let's set this Bulldog defense for you. Brandon Giles, Joe Santos, Mike J, Pete Harris is the defensive line. We touched on the linebacker core, Louis Sebula, Ryan Dowlins, Eric Deebe, Spell, Steve Kelp, the fine linebacker. Secondary, Britt Davis, Jeremy Jelinek, who made the tackle there, Dan Garrett, and Joey Koya is the safety.
Well, the defensive unit for Riverside Brookfield, they're going to be on the field a lot because this is exactly what GCA wants to do. Joliet wants to grind it out. Back to the action.
2nd and 3 for the Hilltoppers. This time it's Gruber, and Gruber will get hit in the backfield, met initially by Eric Deede, the junior linebacker.
Great penetration by the Bulldogs on that play, snuffing out they could smell that play coming. They got Gruber in the backfield and made the most out of it as they push him back, a loss of about 3 on the play.
Take another look at it right there. There you see Deede.
Great penetration, look at that, and a lot of help on the play. That's exactly what Riverside's going to have to do, is meet them in the backfield. Don't give these guys, with their speed, a chance to break outside.
3rd down and 5 for the Hilltoppers. And they run the double handoff. This is Gruber, and Gruber close to another first down for the Hilltoppers. He will indeed, and they'll move the chains.
Well, another first down for Joliet Catholic as they're able to do what they want. I tell you, that's an exciting play. I remember we broadcast the GCA against Marion Catholic about 5-6 weeks ago. They ran that play about 7 times. The first 2 times it just didn't click because they weren't getting the follow pursuit by the linebackers. Once those linebackers bite on that first handoff, Mark, watch out because they'll be able to break it inside and there won't be anybody on the backside defensively.
1st and 10, Hilltoppers from the 25-yard line of Riverside Brookfield. Again, the double handoff to Swarzinski. And Swarzinski breaks a couple of tackles inside the 10. 1st and goal, Joliet Catholic.
Well, from the 26-yard line, he picks up the first down, moving the chains down there. And I'll tell you, that's exactly the 9th play of the series here. As they started deep at their own 18, you can see JR just clearing it out. Nobody in the zone. The cornerback comes up. He gets a little help from the outside linebacker to clean up the play, and JR was just 1 touch away from making it into the end zone. 1st and goal.
Swarzinski with over 1,700 yards rushing on the season. He gets the call here, off left tackle. He'll bust it in for a couple, down to about the 8. 2nd and goal.
Well, good pursuit by Riverside Brookfield. They weren't fooled in there, but this is going to be a real test for their defense right here, Mark. They're inside the red zone. They've got to stop what is probably one of the most prolific running games in the entire Chicagoland area with GCA. They've got to prove it and prove it right now here in the first quarter.
Joliet Catholic out of the Catholic Metro White Conference. Riverside Brookfield out of the Suburban Prairie White Conference. 2nd goal, Hilltoppers. Again, it's the double handoff. Yep, here comes Gruber as he looks to the inside, and he got tripped up nicely. That was Louis Sebula, the linebacker, with a nice tackle.
Well, a great play by the middle linebacker there, Sebula, coming in, making penetration, the ankle tackle. Boy, what a big night, and it's like we talked about before the game. Here, look at the handoff. Inside reverse to Gruber. He's got a blocker, but penetration there, and what a beautiful tackle. Wow.
3rd and goal from the 9. Bulldog defense trying to rattle up this crowd. 3rd and goal, Hilltoppers. Swarzinski, the ball carrier.
There it is.
He is in. Touchdown, Joliet Catholic, 9 yards out. J.R. Swarzinski, his 26th touchdown of the season.
Well, just a classic formation. They're running out of a deuce backfield, and JR just finds his blockers. Plenty of holes, no delays. He hits the hole very quickly. Wow, look at that explosion. Right there at the line of scrimmage, runs right past the coverage, and he's in for the touchdown. No cornerback's going to bring him down when he's got his head turned over.
So Joliet Catholic strikes first here with 5:34 remaining here in this opening quarter. Now Coach Sharp going for the 2-point conversion. Gruber looking for it, and he's got it. Actually, that's Brett Hetman, the fullback. And did he get in? Oh, we got a penalty. Yep, holding against the Hilltoppers.
Well, they're going to reset this, and they're going to move it back to on the, I think it'll be a 5-yard penalty.
See the
Depends on
official
where the
running.
point of the infraction. I think I'll bring it back to the 11-yard line, so it's a 10-yard penalty.
The referee right there, Bill Lawdy. The rest of the officiating crew here tonight, the umpire, P.J. Schneider, line judge Jim Blasek, the linesman Dave Kraft, and the back judge is Jay Lyons. Well, so now they will go for the conventional extra point. Tomasino with Jaworski to hold. Jaworski did a nice job at getting that down, and the extra point by Tomasino is good. So the Hilltoppers of Joliet Catholic, the two-time defending state champs, strike first. They lead it 7-0.
Well, a great opportunity for the Hilltoppers to prove what they're made of. You know, exactly how the coach laid it out in their pregame analysis. You know, you're talking about a 12-play series to march the ball 82 yards and get the touchdown on a 9-yard run by JR. Just outstanding stuff here to start the ball game.
Let's go down to the field. Mike Zaworski with more. Mike.
Guys, Joliet Catholic doing a great job mixing it up. Talking to Danny Sharp before the game, he said he wanted to run some misdirection, and they did that in that drive, and it accounted for a lot of the yards. Then they're turning it and running it straight up the field. A nice mix of offensive plays by JCA. And I'll tell you what, Zorzinski, he is a horse. He just put his head down at the end there and just drove right through everybody. Back to you guys.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. So Craig Tomasino to tee it up for the Hilltoppers. Powers is back deep for the Bulldogs.
Well, this has got to be a great night for Tomasino. You know, he's kind of overlooked a little bit with the great offense here that Joliet Catholic brings out. But, boy, I tell you, he did an outstanding job in that Marion Catholic game. He can throw the ball when he has to. So this could be, this may come down to who has last possession in the fourth quarter here, Mark.
Beautiful night, hardly any wind to speak of, and it's Chatone Powers from his own 10. Powers spins and still goes across the 20 to the 27-yard line, and that's where Tim Bracek in this Bulldog offense will take over for the second time here tonight.
Well, now, if you're Otto Zeman and the Bulldogs, you've got to seize this opportunity. You've got to seize and create the tempo here. They're deep, not that deep. I mean, they're going to start with the ball at their own 26, 20, let's say 28-yard line. Here we can see Powers on the run back, right up the middle, makes a little jog, skips back, almost breaks it open, back to the action down in the field.
Out of that familiar shotgun. Bracek, 1st and 10 from their own 29. Bracek will tuck it under, go to the far side, and he'll get knocked out of bounds by Chris Jeske, the linebacker, only a freshman. And I think, you know, that may be a key. A lot of people talking about Tim Bracek and how he throws the ball, but how he runs the ball could be a factor here tonight as well.
Mark, I talked to a half a dozen coaches this week, and they said he's one of the brightest young men. He reads the game as well as anybody they've ever seen on the prep level here. I mean, he can read. He'll see what GCA is putting out there and adjust as the play develops. Up tight, look at them. They got 9 on the line.
2-yard gain, 2nd and 8 for the Bulldogs. Bracek looking left. Now nowhere to go. He flushes here to the near side under some heavy pressure. Looking to get rid of it. Instead, he'll cut it up and make something out of nothing as he gets to the 41-yard line and a first down.
Just outruns the defense. Boy, you talk about stellar speed. There it is right there. That's why this young man was the Chicago Sun-Times Player of the Year. He can run, he can pass, he can do it all. He reads the defense. Here you look, it looks like he's going to get sucked in. Tucks the ball just under his right arm, and he's off and running along the sideline. Picks up the first down, 1st and 10.
Mike Manor and Matt Maticek were chasing after him, but couldn't catch up to Mr. Bracek. Picks up the first down from their own 41. Bracek with some time across the middle, and it is incomplete, intended for Chatone Powers. Ryan Lincoln was there on the coverage.
That time GCA came with a 4-man rush. They dropped the linebacker off into the left flat, and that helped a little bit. It took away the inside option that Bracek was looking for, and as a result, he had to go to, I think, what was his 3rd receiver on that play and overthrew him. Probably a good throwaway on that one, because everybody was pretty well covered. You know, when you're bringing out 5 receivers, Mark, you've got to play man-to-man. I mean, that's it. Joliet Catholic might be able to free up a free safety. Let's see what's going on.
2nd and 10 for the Bulldogs from their own 41. 5 minutes, 3 seconds remaining here in this opening quarter. Bracek to the far side. Pass is complete to Guardi, who takes a huge hit. Chris Minerich put a hurt on Guardi. Here's another look at it, though.
Well, this is the play that they ran 3 times in that first series before they gave up the ball to GCA. Here they throw it out into the flat, and just tremendous, a good athletic play there, the good read. The defense was ready for that one. Back to the action.
A loss of 2 on the play, 3rd down and 12. For this Riverside Brookfield team, we mentioned fresh off of that 54-point performance last week over Geneseo. 3rd and 12 from their own 39. Bracek to the far side, and the pass is incomplete. Intended for Matt George, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Well, I'll tell you, Bracek had one of his receivers on the outside here on the left side. Tierney was wide open. The defender slipped down. If he would have looked at Tierney, he had him wide open on a slant-in post pattern. I wish he probably wants that one back. 4th down, they can still, 4th and 12, they're not out of it.
From their own 39, Coach Zeman deciding to go for it here. I tell you, that's this type of offense here. Oh no, quick kick. Yep, so Bracek.
Nobody there, look at this.
Nice job, it'll take a Bulldog
at the
roll,
18.
and it'll die at the 10-yard line.
Ooh, they better be careful about kicking that ball on that play.
No flags out there, so 4 minutes, 1 second remaining here in this opening quarter. Out comes Craig Tomasino and the rest of this Hilltopper offense. Joliet Catholic, Tom, we mentioned 10-1. Their only loss coming in week number 2 to Mount Carmel. The Caravan snapped Joliet Catholic's 29-game winning streak in that week 2.
You know, I talked with Coach Sharp before during the week here, and you know, in some regards, he doesn't want to admit it, but I think a lot of sportscasters and writers think that was probably the best thing that could have happened to GCA. If they would have come in here with a 40-game win streak, an awful lot more pressure on these guys. 1st and 10 from the 10.
The give. Swerzinski. Boy, Swerzinski is just a pile as he gets about an 8-yard pickup, about to the 18-yard line, 2nd and short.
Well, just traditional football here. I mean, you talk about a contrast of styles between these two units. You got a hurry up, as I call it, a jailbreak offense by Riverside Brookfield, and then you got the traditional 3-back, 2-back offensive set by Joliet Catholic. A very traditional set. Here they come out with wing back and 2 deuce back in there.
2nd and less than a yard. Again, it's a double handoff to Chris Gruber, and Chris will pick up a 1st down here for the Hilltoppers.
2nd time they've run that. They really haven't fooled Riverside on either one of those plays. So obviously Riverside's done their homework on the film to detect what that is that's coming about. But the key here is they're getting a good push off that defensive line. They're getting a little bit of penetration and forcing inside play.
2-yard pickup for Gruber, so it's 1st and 10 from their own 21-yard line. Hilltoppers on top, 7-0. The give, Swerzinski. Swerzinski cuts to the outside, barrels ahead for a gain of about 9 on the play, close to another 1st down.
Well, attention, once JR clears that linebacking and the line of scrimmage, it's going to be a 220-pound halfback who's got sprinter speed against a 180-pound or 150-pound cornerback, and that's not a mismatch that you want to write about.
Actually, it is a 1st down as we take another look at it there, Tommy. Pop into the outside, and then the power.
Yeah, see you there. Riverside, they're trying to tackle him up high, but I tell you, that's going to be a long night for those young guys if they're going to try and hit that man up around the shoulder pads, because he'll carry him for 20 yards on that play.
1st and 10, Hilltoppers from their own 31. First man through is Hetman, and Hetman will get to the 38-yard line. And I tell you, Tom, the Hilltoppers are piling up some yardage here.
Well, this is exactly what Coach for Joliet wants to do. He wants to set up a contain the clock, run the clock, keep the defensive unit on the field. If they keep Riverside Brookfield's defense on the unit on the field, what happens to the offense? They're sitting on the sidelines watching, catching cold.
6-yard pickup, 2nd and 4. Give to Gruber, and Gruber picks his way to about the 41-yard line, close to another Joliet Catholic 1st down. And Tom, as a clock stops here, you're certainly tempo-wise favoring Joliet Catholic here, grinding it out and keeping that Riverside Brookfield defense out on the field.
Well, everybody thinks that this is going to be a long game, but I'll tell you, the way the tempo is being set here by Joliet Catholic, they're going to run that clock. The clock is just going to continue going. We're already 10 minutes into the ball game, and we can see that Joliet Catholic has set the tempo and dominated the play here in the 1st quarter.
Did pick up another first down, so 1st and 10 from their own 42. Tomasino handing it off to Zwerzinski. And JR to about the 48-yard line, a 5-yard pickup.
Well, now this is where JCA is the most dangerous. I'll tell you right now, Mark, because what they're doing is they're running inside the tackles. That's not their strength. Their strength is running outside the tackles. I'm telling you, the chess game is going on. They're setting up Riverside Brookfield, and as soon as these cornerbacks start cheating in a little bit, pop, there it goes. JR will be off for a 60-yard sprint.
Tommy, look at the offensive line for Joliet Catholic, averaging 253 pounds. Riverside Brookfield's defense averaging 225 pounds. Zwerzinski with another close to a first down, depending on the mark, the 48 of Riverside Brookfield.
Yeah, I think he's got it. He was able to get past the line or past the markers out there, and then was pushed back. I'm sure they're going to spot it for the first down. Yeah, they're moving the chains already, Mark.
Coach Zeman said of this Joliet Catholic offensive line, he said, they're so big up front, we'll have to go next door to the Brookfield Zoo, get some elephants to duplicate them.
Well, I'll tell you, they're grinding it out. That's 4 first downs in this series that started back on the 10-yard line. Just grinding it out, the clock running. We're down to almost a minute left here in the first quarter.
1st and 10 from the 47-yard line of Riverside Brookfield. This is the fullback, Brett Hetman, for a gain of about 2 on the play, so 2nd and 8.
And the first quarter with 1 touchdown for Joliet Catholic. It's been all Joliet Catholic as they've been able to keep the defensive unit for Riverside Brookfield on the field. And like I said, they're just going to run as much as they can. If they keep this tempo up, the problem with Riverside Brookfield is they can strike with lightning.
Yes.
They come out and score in a heartbeat.
2nd and 9 here. Again, it's a double handoff. Zwerzinski. And Zwerzinski gets across the 45, maybe to the 44, so this will bring up 3rd down and about 5 here for the Hilltoppers.
Well, that was very well defended by Riverside Brookfield. That play could have popped. That's the play we're talking about. That's the one where JR, if he can get past the line of scrimmage and get into that linebacker's stream, he's going to break through into the secondary and he's gone.
That's the end of the first quarter here at Shuey Stadium. It's the Hilltoppers of Joliet Catholic leading the Bulldogs by a score of 7-0. Tom and I will come back for second quarter action right after this timeout.
And welcome back after the first quarter. It's going to be 7-0 Hilltoppers. You know, Coach Sharp, what exactly were you thinking about in the first quarter, and is there anything that your team could improve on?
Well, first of all, I was very pleased that we were able to control the ball like we did on the ground. We gave up the opening kickoff, an onside kick that Riverside Brookfield recovered, and we were able to at least stop them there. You know, at one of the few times in the first quarter we were able to slow them down. But the fact that we were able to grind it out, we're getting 5, 6, 7 yards a carry. That we're really pleased with. What we need to improve upon is a little better job in our coverage. You know, I think that the problem we're having right now is being able to match up with some of their good receivers.
Okay, fair enough. Anybody else want to add anything that you guys are thinking for the first quarter?
I think from our side, the one thing, I wasn't panicked at all. You know, we're down 2 scores, and the one thing as long as we had Tim at quarterback, and
sure.
We had a lot of faith in his junior year, his first playoff game. We were actually losing by 2 scores with 1:20 to go, and he scored 2 touchdowns in the last against Crete-Monee to win that first playoff game. So I knew that at any time we could explode and had the ability to score quickly. And I think the whole total of the game, we only had 7 minutes where we had the ball, and they had the ball, I think, 41-something.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, well, you know, the first quarter action was great. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and let's watch the second quarter.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Yeah, the Hilltoppers are 24-1 with Tomasino as a starting quarterback, so getting it done for the Hilltoppers is Mr. Tomasino.
Well, that's what Joliet needs. They need a guy in the Ivy League coming from Joliet, from the steel town down there.
Well, it'll be a big 3rd down and 6 here for the Hilltoppers as we begin second quarter action. Mark Kruger, Tom Bonnet, along with Mike Sawarski. Glad to have you with us here in Brookfield. Zwerzinski, the ball carrier, he'll cut it up and be short of the first down, I believe, as he gets to the 39-yard line. See what Coach Sharp and the Hilltoppers decide to do here now. Yep, they're going to be about a yard short.
Yeah, this is one that you know, if you're Dan Sharp, it doesn't do you any good to push Riverside Brookfield back into their territory, because just as dangerous there as they are, probably more dangerous from back there than they are in the red zone, and that's why he's going to go for it here. Look for JR inside.
4th and 2 from the 39-yard line. It is Wierzynski.
Follows his blockers. There you go.
And he's got the first down and more as he barrels across the 30-yard line.
Great call, Mark. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. J.R. Wierzynski just following his blockers. Got great inside help there by Hittman to lead the blocking. Here we can see the play come up. There's number 40, Hittman, leading out. He takes, oh, what a crack on that cornerback. My God, that hurt my back. And now JR along the sidelines gets a little help and picks up the first down. The Hilltoppers just simply moving the ball. That's the first time they've run outside the tackles in the last 8 plays.
From the 29-yard line of the Bulldogs. 1st and 10. Again, the double handoff to Gruber. Gruber up the middle, and he gets brought down at about the 12-yard line. Another first down, and Tom, it seems like the Hilltoppers are running at will here in the early going.
Well, that time they caught the linebackers cheating onto JR as JR made some motion outside and it left open. Gruber cuts inside. Oh, what a great seal-back block there by the tackle. He's into the secondary. The linebacker had already cleared out, so he gets help from the outside. JR and the group. Tomasino just calling a perfect ball game down there.
A minute gone by here in the second quarter. 1st and 10, Hilltoppers from the 14-yard line. Wierzynski, boy, one guy just can't tackle him. About a 4-yard pickup.
This series started back in the first quarter, which seems like an hour ago is the way they're doing this, but it started on the 10-yard line. Now they're down to the 10-yard line of their opponent, so they've moved this ball 80 yards with 7 first downs, and they still got possession. They're on the knocking on the door here from the 9-yard line.
Boy, you can't ask for much more if you're Coach Sharp, just grinding it out, keeping that Bulldog defense out there. 2nd and 5. Wierzynski looking for a block as he cuts to the outside, and he'll get inside the 5, and it'll be 1st and goal for the Hilltoppers.
Well, what can you say? We talked about it in the pregame, the team that can set the tempo, dictate the tempo during the game. But, Mark, let's remember, this is a long ball game. I was joking with some of my sports writer friends this week, and I said, look, as JR he almost drags the guy into the end zone with him. But here you can see as the Hilltoppers huddling down there. But the point I was going to make about JCA, there's no lead in this game. Unless one of these teams gets up by 28 points, this ball game's never going to be over.
Tom, they're actually going to mark it just inside the 5, so it's going to be 3rd and less than a yard, so they can still pick up a first down here. Tomasino, the give to Gruber. He's got blocking in front, and he's got a touchdown.
What a beautiful play, my God. A textbook blocking scheme against the defense there. They just didn't have a chance. JCA just pulling them out, and Gruber made it look easy there. They hit the hole very quickly, and just a great play. Here we can see no hesitation. Gruber just follows Hittman. Doesn't even need Hittman. He follows his guard there right into the end zone. What a beautiful play.
Mike Zanelli, the pulling guard there to give Gruber his 17th touchdown of the season. And now Tomasino in for the extra point here for the Hilltoppers. Zaworski holds, and the extra point is pushed to the right, so no good. The score remains 13-0 in favor of the number 4th seeded Hilltoppers here with 10 minutes and 4 seconds to go in the first half.
Well, Gruber makes it look easy on that play, and the thing that we're talking about is that JCA, the Hilltoppers, cap off a 14-play possession going 90 yards to record their second touchdown. Yeah, they missed the PAT, 13-0. That may come back to haunt them, but they'll go for the deuce on the next touchdown.
So we'll see if Tim Bracek and this explosive offense can get things going offensively here. 10:04 to go first half. 13-0 in favor of the Joliet Catholic Hilltoppers. The Hilltoppers looking for their 10th state championship. A remarkable history at Joliet Catholic. 1975 through 1978, they won state titles 4 straight. 1981, 1987, 1990, and of course the last 2 years.
Well, what a perfect night for football. About 50 degrees here in Riverside. Just an outstanding crowd. You couldn't get another person in this stadium with a shoehorn. Well, Riverside didn't have enough men on the field, and they had to sneak somebody on just as the kick comes off.
Taken at the 8-yard line. This is Matt George as he returns it. to the 30-yard line, and that's where the Bulldogs will take over.
Well, that's not the kind of mistake you can afford to make during a kickoff. They only had 10 men on the field, Riverside Brookfield, so they rushed somebody on there just as the kick was being made. And, of course, obviously the guy who made the tackle, we'll call it that way, he was the guy that wasn't blocked. Now back to the action. Brasic with a full fleet of receivers out there. He's got all 5 of them in position, man coverage.
3 to the bottom of your screen, 1st and 10 from their own 30. Brasic out of the shotgun.
Blitz, they got a blitz.
Across the middle to Chatone Powers, and it is incomplete. Ryan Lincoln was there on the coverage.
That time the GCA came with a zone blitz out of the center middle linebacker, put a little bit of pressure. Brasic knew he didn't have a lot of time, got rid of the ball. We'll see what the call is going to be. Of course, in that situation, when everybody knows they're going with the blitz, it's gonna force the defenders, and that's what it's going to be, a holding. Yeah, it's going to be defensive holding. It's going to force the defenders to make those holds, and that's exactly what happened. What I saw at the bottom of the screen there, Mark, was that the defender hit him before the ball was put in the air, and of course that's the defensive play that they're calling for. So it's going to move the chains, and it'll be a 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs.
13-0 in favor of Joliet Catholic. So after the holding penalty, 1st and 10 Bulldogs from their own 40. Same formation, 5 wideouts, 3 here to the near side. Brasic looking to his left, and he's got his man, Matt George.
It's a race.
George looking for the end zone, touchdown. Brasic to Matt George.
I'll tell you, that's lightning in a bottle. Those 2 guys can do it. There was no doubt about it. As soon as he touched the ball with his left hand, you knew it was over.
60 yards. Matt George hits Pater.
Here Brasic drops back, doesn't even hesitate. He's got a look-in pattern. He got behind the defender, and then the rest was a foot race. And boy, I'll tell you, the athleticism of these receivers, George just puts the distance between them. Nobody's going to catch that young man in full stride. And suddenly we've got a...
Now in for the extra point attempt, Joseph Coys, 5'10". Holding for the Bulldogs is Matt Tierney. And Tierney comes out of the, looking for the end zone.
Oh, what a play.
Good. Matt Tierney passed it to Dan Garrett for the 2-point conversion.
Well, don't act so surprised. Tierney has actually thrown 53 passes this year, so you have to know that that's a possibility. And, of course, maybe they played their trump card too soon in the ball game, Mark. We got a lot of football ahead of us, and suddenly the Hilltoppers have lost that 13-point lead, 13-8. What a ball game, what a night, what an evening for football.
9:44 remaining here in this first half. Let's go down to the field. Mike Zaworski, Z-Force, what have you got?
Hey, Corey McLaughlin, the JCA defensive coordinator, one of the things he said he wanted to do before the game was that he wanted to blitz a lot to try to force Brasic to make quick decisions and put some pressure on him. That time Joliet Catholic gets burned on the blitz, but they've been doing that consistently throughout the game, and that's what had gotten them the lead. On the flip side, one other thing, you guys talked about the running abilities of Brasic. He averages over 10 yards a run.
Mike makes a good point there, and Brasic is so elusive as a runner. They actually run a quarterback draw very effectively, and that's where he's gained all his yardage on the ground throughout the year. So he can read the defense. If they start blitzing from inside, he's going to just step aside and run past that coverage and pick up big yardage as a running quarterback. So it's a perfect night for football, and I think we've got 2 perfect opponents.
Wilkinson and Jaworski are back deep, but watch the onside kick here.
Who knows what they're going to do?
I tell you, with Coach Seaman, you don't know what to expect out there. And they try it again. Who's got it? There's a big pile at the 48-yard line, and it looks like Joliet Catholic has covered up. Oh, my. Well, celebrating 100 years of youth music and excellence, the Chicago Children's Choir, along with the Chicago Youth Symphony Orchestras, presents Handel's Messiah, Saturday, December 22nd at 7:30 p.m. Alice Miller Chapel in Evanston, and Sunday, December 23rd at 3 p.m. The Holy Family Church in Chicago under the baton of Josephine Lee, the choir's artistic director. This presentation of the Messiah will feature 4 choir alumni as soloists. Don't miss this all-youth production of Handel's Beloved Messiah. For tickets and information, visit the choir's website at www.ccchoir.org.
Tomasino layers it out.
To the
Oh, no.
Slipping was Bobby Wilkinson at the 15-yard line.
I'll tell you, I think a gopher jumped up and grabbed his leg because Wilkinson was falling. He must have just hit a turf or something. I mean, I'd say it was turf toe, but there's no artificial turf out here. But I'll tell you, here we can see Tomasino dropping back, just poised. He lets the ball, a perfect throw. The receiver, that's right where the receiver should have been if he hadn't lost his balance.
Britt Davis was there in the coverage, Tom.
Well, I was going to say Riverside Brookfield's field is at least pitching in. They're doing something to trip up the receivers for Joliet Catholic.
2nd and 10 from their own 48. Gruber, the ball carrier. Gruber gets tripped up at the 47-yard line, about a 5-yard pickup. This will bring up a 3rd and about 4 yards to go.
Well, again, Joliet Catholic goes back to inside the tackles as Gruber just follows his blockers, puts his head down, picks up a hard 5 yards. It'll bring up a 3rd and 5 for the Hilltoppers. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be whoever has the last possession in this 4th quarter. That's the way it feels. That's the way it smells out here. That's what the tension is in the air. That's what people here at Riverside want.
3rd and 5, Hilltoppers from the Bulldogs 47. Again, it's the second handoff Gruber. And Gruber has the first down for the Hilltoppers inside the 40 to the 38.
Well, Gruber kind of becomes the unsung hero, but you got a second halfback on a team that he gains 1,000 yards, and you got J.R. Zerwinski, he gets 1,700 yards. You can see why. This kid is as powerful as any halfback in the Chicagoland area, and he's the second stringer.
Last year, he rushed for 1,130 yards. This year, over the 1,000-yard mark, 1,053 coming into tonight's quarterfinal matchup. 1st and 10, Hilltoppers. Zwerzinski cuts to the outside, and Zwerzinski dives for about an 8-yard pickup. Oh my, 2nd and short.
Nice ankle tackle out there on the defensive side by Riverside Brookfield. But again, JR, that play felt like it took a little bit too long to get going. As he bounces off, you see he gets denied on the outside, and then he comes back trying to find a slant block, and he can't get anybody. The guard can't get out there fast enough to pick up the cornerback. Back to the action, Mark.
2nd and 3. Again, it's Gruber with some blocking ahead, and he should have enough for another 1st down.
Nice play by Gruber, but great pursuit along the defensive line by Riverside. They are really into this ballgame. This defensive unit for Riverside has come to play tonight, and the Riverside fans need to have a huge game out of that defensive unit tonight. They're going to try and do what nobody else has really been able to do all year with JCA, and that is stop perhaps one of the most prolific running games in the last decade here in the Chicagoland area.
1st and 10 from the Bulldog 27-yard line. Tomasino is Gruber. They fake it to him, but we got a flag before that play gets underway.
I think I saw some movement on the right side there along the offensive line. So I think that's going to be a penalty against GCA.
The call from Bill Lawdy.
I think it's illegal motion.
Against the Hilltoppers. 7:33 remaining here in this first half. 13-8 in favor of Joliet Catholic. Along with our producer-director, Andy Ziokowski, Mike Saworski, Tom Bonnet, Mark Kruger, delighted to have you with us as you look at some of this crowd of, they estimated over 6,000 people on hand here at Shuey Stadium in Brookfield.
Well, there's only 3 games tonight in the Chicagoland area for football, and I think everybody is here at this one. I tell you, every coach I know from the south side is here.
1st and 15 after the penalties. Wierzinski cuts it up the middle, breaks a couple of tackles, still going to the far side, and should have enough for a 1st down, close to a 15-yard pickup.
Perfect call, Mark. Did you see the power? He just dragged the tackler along with him to pick up the 1st down. I think they're going to mark it a little bit short. Here's the replay. As he breaks a tackle right at the line of scrimmage, breaks another tackle. Look at that, breaks 2 tackles, breaks a 3rd tackle. Come on, somebody hit him, will you? 4th tackler brings him down.
Boy, he is so similar to Mike Allstock, the way he runs.
He's got sprinter speed, and he's got the body of a linebacker.
1st and 10, he indeed picks up the 1st down. Again, the double handoff. This is Gruber and Gruber gets inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line.
Well, you know, you'd like to have the metaphor, Mr. Inside, Mr. Outside, but I'm telling you, both of these young men, Gruber and JR, have sprinter speed. They can break it into the secondary. Here we can see Gruber just follows Woody. He just reads the blocks perfectly, hurdles one blocker, picks up an extra 2 yards. Oh, I'm telling you, big league stuff all the way, Mark.
That was big. Chris Anastopoulos with the block there, 6'4", 295 offensive tackle. Second down and 2. Again, it's Gruber. Gruber looking for the end zone.
Yeah,
and he is in.
Boy, I tell you, he looked like he was carrying the bread to the dinner table on that one. He just skirts outside. He gets outside the end. And I'll tell you, that's where the bread and butter for GCA is, getting outside the tackles. Gruber makes it look easy for their 3rd touchdown.
Chris's 2nd touchdown of the night, give him 18 on the year. And Joliet Catholic strikes back. They lead it now 19-8. 6 minutes and 29 seconds
with 6:29 remaining here in the second quarter. The question is, are they going to go for 2? Here's the answer right there. As they break the huddle, they're going to try and make up for that snafu before.
Tomasino under center.
Oh, he's got it.
He takes it himself, and he's got the 2-point conversion.
Boy, that one had success written all over it. And a big play by Tomasino. He just reads the play perfectly. He might even audibilize that up at the line, because there was just single man out in the flat, and he was able to outrun the coverage. Just tucks it in. So a nice play by Tomasino. It's nice to have a potential Ivy Leaguer in the backfield calling your plays for you, right?
Absolutely. We'll come back to Shuey Stadium here in Brookfield right after this. Mark Kruger along with Tom Bonin back here at Shuey Stadium in Brookfield.
Well, there's part of the crowd. There's about 100 people out of the 8,000 that are here. I'll tell you, I'd like to have the washroom concession, the potty wagon, at halftime, because I'm telling you, everybody's going to take a potty break at halftime.
Tomasino teeing it up at the 40-yard line. 6:29 to go here in the first half.
Oh, horrendous kick. Wow.
Chatone Powers from his own 2. Powers makes a move and returns it to the 27-yard line. That's where Tim Brasic and this Bulldog offense will take over. Take another look here.
Look
Tom,
at the touchdown. Look at it. I mean, this is just picture perfect. He's got the fullback out in front of him, the pulling guard out there, clearing out the area. Oh, Gruber just makes it look easy as he cuts inside the block. I'll tell you, the halfbacks and the running backs for Joliet Catholic do a great job reading their blockers. And that's what makes it so tough for defenses to bring them down. Brasic now.
1st and 10 from their own 26. Brasic looks across the middle. He's got his man, Chatone Powers. Oh, did he fumble it? He recovers at the 48-yard line. Did they call a catch? Yes.
I'll tell you,
Powers.
The defender was all over him like a cheap suit, and he still made the catch. What is going on here? I'm telling you, don't turn away from your screen for 30 seconds, because this whole ball game could change in a second. Brasic drops back, throws off his back foot. Look at that. And the ball's tipped ever so slightly. And he did fumble it. Oh, yeah, you had made the call there, Mark, and he recovers it. But he had possession, 1st and 10 from the 49.
Ryan Lincoln was all over Powers, as you mentioned. But a 1st down for the Bulldogs from the 48-yard line of Joliet Catholic. Brasic looking to his left, batted down at the line of scrimmage. That looked like big number 67 for Joliet Catholic. Nick Kinsella.
Could have been. He just a great play there. Very athletic play by the lineman there to knock that ball down there. Getting their hands up in Brasic's face. But right now they're not putting a lot of pressure on him. He's having plenty of time to throw. That time, and you credit that situation to good coverage in the secondary.
Wow, great game. I'm Luke Jebb, and we'll be back with the second quarter right after this.
Three down linemen now for GCA.
2nd and 10, Bulldogs.
They're rushing 4.
Brasic looking, and it is overthrown, intended for Tom Guardi. Guardi looking for the flag from the official, not getting it.
No, that was the right play, Mark, because what Guardi did is he cut inside and he ran into the defender. So it was a good no call by the official. And I'm sure Brasic and the Bulldog fans would like to have seen a flag on that play, but it was the right call with no flag on that play. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down situation and 10.
5:50 to go here in this first half. 21-8 in favor of the Hilltoppers. 3rd and 10 for Brasic and the Bulldogs. Brasic to the far side, and he's got his man. Oh, the hands of Guardy. Oh, that was one that Tom, I'm sure, wanted to have back.
That one was right in the bread basket. That's the way we practice it out in the front yard. He lays it right up there. A perfect throw by Brasic. Good coverage, but just he had a half a step on the defender, and that's all these quality receivers need from Riverside Brookfield is a half a step. And they had plenty of time. Good setup, perfect delivery by Brasic. It's going to bring up a 4th and 10 situation. They're never begging for yardage here. They can make this with no problem.
3 wideouts to the top of your screen. 4th and 10 Bulldogs. From the 48 of Joliet Catholic, again, Brasic looks to the left. And again, it's Guardy, and the coverage there. Chris Minerich nearly picked it off. Good coverage that time by the 6'1 senior.
Well, great coverage. That's 3 plays in a row now that the secondary for Joliet Catholic has come up and put pressure. They've been in his face. They were lucky on the fumble to recover the ball at the 48 of Joliet Catholic. So very good delivery on the defensive side by Joliet Catholic. Now Riverside Brookfield is going to have to prove their merit here with the defensive unit as Joliet Catholic is going to take over on downs at their own 48, 1st and 10.
5 minutes and 39 seconds remaining here in this first half.
I'll tell you, you should come around when I get excited about a ball game. I'm telling you.
You got to come up for air, John.
I know. Yeah, we get a defibrillator out here, will you? I don't know if I can go through a second half.
Oh boy, electricity in the air. Playoff football, nothing like it.
Quarterback change.
Swerzinski, yeah, we'll touch on him. As Swerzinski, wow, it took 4 Bulldogs to push him out of bounds. And Swerzinski now gets out of the Bulldog sidelines there. There you see him. Ryan Quigley, the new quarterback.
Exactly, Ryan Quigley into the ball game. I don't know what's going on. Maybe we can find out if Mike can find out if something's going on with Tomasino. But JR, look at that. I mean, he holds him off. My God. I mean, I'm telling you, what that proves to me is it would take 6 pickpockets to take this guy's lunch money. He goes all the way through.
Oh, my.
Oh, boy, I'll tell you, what a night, what a game, and what a crowd. A perfect night for football here in Chicago. I'll tell you, this is what Friday nights were designed for. 50 degrees, a nice chill in the air. There's no leaves on the tree. It's, getting to be the middle of November. Playoff football, quarterfinals. 8 teams left here in the 5A. One of these teams will move on to the semifinals. It's all here. The action is here in Riverside tonight. Quigley under center. Double reverse.
Swerzinski has close to a first down at the 46-yard line. Now Ryan Quigley does see time. He's got 26 pass completions, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Let's go down on the field. Mike Sawarski, partner, what have you got?
Hey guys, Riverside Brookfield finally got the strategy to shut Swerzinski down, tackle him with all the guys on the sideline and take him out with the bench.
Yeah, it took about 10 or 12 Bulldogs. So Quigley now, 3rd and 5, the give to Gruber. Gruber, yeah, he's got a first down at about the 41.
A great play there was Cherublo, number 32 on the ankle tackle.
Boy, quite a 1-2 punch there. These 2 wingbacks, Swerzinski and Chris Gruber. 4.5 to go here, first half.
Well, Quigley back in the ball game for the Hilltoppers. Just a little more than 4 minutes remaining here in the second quarter, and they've got a nice lead, 21-8 here in the ball game.
1st and 10 from the Riverside Brookfield 41. Swerzinski with some blockers as he stumbles after about a 4-yard pickup to about the 37-yard line of RB.
They're just grinding it out. Quigley goes to the sideline, picks up the next play from the offensive coordinators. He'll bring it into the huddle. As we can see him setting up at the middle of the field, right at the 50-yard line with the rest of the Hilltoppers. One of the things that Dan Sharp talked about was switching some of his players to try and disguise what they're going to be doing on the defensive set. We'll talk about that when the Hilltoppers go back on defense.
2nd and 6. Quigley will fake it and keep it himself. Run to the far side. He'll have the first down for the Hilltoppers, brought down by Britt Davis, but not after Quigley picks up the first down.
Well, Quigley's speed made the play, but I'll tell you, a great block there by number 40, Hetman, as he gets out there. Watch Hetman, number 40, in front of the quarterback. Quigley gets out there. It's his speed that gets the distance, but he turns around and seals off the block. Yeah, we're not going to see it, but Quigley just picks up a lot of extra yardage. That could have been a dangerous play. He breaks that tackle, he's gone.
From the 27 they spot it, so 1st and 10 Hilltoppers as we approach the 3-minute mark of this first half. Quigley handing it off to Hitman. Hitman about a 2-yard pickup on the play. Tom, the winner of tonight's game will take on the winner of the Rochelle Vernon Hills quarterfinals next week.
Well, let's see, that's a number 14 seed against what, a number 2 seed.
Of course, the other quarterfinal matchups, Sacred Heart Griffin, the number 3 seed against Metamora, the number 2 seed. And then Troy taking on Morris. Morris unbeaten on the
thing
year.
that's interesting, and maybe we'll talk about it in a second here, as GCA comes up to Hilltoppers with a 2nd down.
And 7 from the 24. Again, it's Gruber with some blocking. He's got a first down as he cuts to the outside around Jelinek. In for the score. Chris Gruber, 24 yards out. His 3rd touchdown of the night.
What a brilliant play by Gruber. Boy, I'll tell you, if the scouts are here, get the watches out, because that young man's breakaway speed was just there. I mean, there was no way they were going to stop him. And there really wasn't a lot there. Here we'll see on the replay, he's got his pulling guard out there, cuts inside on the tackle, breaks a tackle there at the 20. He's up to the 10, and then it's just sprinter speed that takes him in from there. Just a brilliant play by Gruber as he gets outside. Again, what are we talking about? They go inside with Hetman to try and loosen him up. Then they go outside with Gruber, and that's the formula that's going to put him ahead here with a 27-8 lead right now, trying for 2.
Gruber goes in motion.
Quickly goes down. He tripped over either, I don't know if he tripped over his own feet or if it was JR that cut inside there.
So the 2-point conversion fails, but nevertheless, the Hilltoppers are on top here now, 27-8. 2 minutes and 36 seconds to go, and give some credit to this huge Hilltopper offensive line. Anastopoulos, Zanelli, Midlock, Cox, and Douglas getting it done in the trenches.
Boy, they are. I'll tell you, we talk about the second quarter. This may be a quarter that goes down in GCA history. We're talking about 3 touchdowns in the span of less than 8 minutes, all of them by Chris Gruber, who's the second running back in that backfield.
There you see Steve Kelp. Boy,
there's the young man. I talked to the trainer before the ball game, and he has a fracture of a fibula, and it's fine. It's not in the growth plate. He's going to recover. He'll be out of the cast in about 2 weeks, but I'm sure he's heartbroken down there, not being able to play in what may be the biggest game in the school's history.
27-8 in favor of the visiting Hilltoppers.
Tell you, no lead except 28 points is safe in this ball game, though. I'll tell you, Brasic can pick them up and lay them down very quickly. They're not afraid to try that onside kick, so we got an infinity amount of time here just in this quarter remaining, much less the second half. Tomasino's back on the field now for the kick. That's a good sign that he's back in the lineup.
Kick to the far side. This is Chatone Powers from his own 5.
Oh, what a tackle.
Powers gets tripped up across the 20 to the 22.
Boy, credit Kurt Kleeman there for GCA with the tackle. Running back out there on special teams doing his part, number 36, with a big tackle to bring down Powers. They'll set up 1st and 10 at their own. Let's see, they'll mark that ball at the 28-yard line.
2.5 to go as we take another look
Here's
at
Powers. Ooh, that hurt. Nice play. 1st and 10, Brasic. 5 receivers.
3 here to the near side here from the shotgun.
Joliet's only bringing 3.
He's got Powers across midfield and into Joliet Catholic territory at the 44-yard line. Chatone Powers, who has the state record for most catches in a season coming into this game with 106.
I'll tell you what, a great route he ran. It was nothing fancy about it. He just gets a little bit of separation with the D-back. Look at that. He's got a step and a half on the D-back. And at the time the ball was thrown, he had less than a half a step. Oh, boy.
Explosive is the word that comes to mind when you talk about Chatone Powers.
1st and 10 at the 45.
Just over 2 minutes to go here in this first half. Here to the
there
near
he is.
side.
He's got room.
Chatone Powers looking for the
it's
end
a race.
Touchdown, 44 yards from Tim Brasic to Chatone Powers.
Well, what can we say, Mark? 36 seconds, basically 2 plays from scrimmage, and they put up 6 points on the scoreboard, and suddenly we've got a ball game again, 27-14 right now with the PAT coming up. Look at this play. Here's Powers out in the flat. He gets separation, and with him trying to be covered by a linebacker, that's just not a fair matchup at all. And boy, he just turns on the afterburners. He's in there. And they'll go for a single for the 1-point PAT.
Well, maybe.
Or maybe. They tried that. Yeah, that's how much I know.
Matt Tierney to hold.
Tierney on the hold. Last time he threw it. He'll set it.
Yep. Oh, it is blocked.
He should have thrown it.
Yes. The extra point, I should say, is blocked. And so the score remains 27-14 in favor of Joliet Catholic with exactly 2 minutes remaining here in this first half.
Well, if you're a fan of Riverside Brookfield football, you got to be excited. I mean, that explosiveness, 36 seconds, they put 6 points up on the board, and I'll tell you, there was nothing floozy about that touchdown. That was a perfect route by Powers on the first reception, and then the second one was just pure out speed.
Catch tonight's game between the Hilltoppers and the Bulldogs this Monday, November 12th at 7 p.m. exclusively on the AT&T Broadband Network. Check your local listings for additional times and dates.
They're gonna, the fans are gonna have to come to Restville to see me because I'm gonna need a rest after this. I mean, I'm gonna need a couple weeks off after this ball game. This is gonna be, there's not gonna be any adrenaline left in this booth, Mark.
Hey, get there, pal. We got another half to go.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. Well, anything can happen. I'm telling you, these guys, the coaches are pulling out all the stops. Who knows what they're going to do now?
That's the fun of it. So Ryan Dowlins now, and the Bulldogs, who have tried 2 onside kicks already. Jaworski and Wilkinson are back deep. Tom, I think we're going to see another onside kick here. See what happens.
They did it. There it is.
Here to the near side. Oh, and it's
good reception.
Nicely. Kevin Serena, it looked like number 26, did a nice job at the 48-yard line.
Well, what did we say? I mean, both these teams are pulling all the stops. You think you know what they're going to do on the next play? I dare you to clarify it. Anything could happen. Here's the onside kick, of well-executed onside kick. Look at that bounce up in the air. Oh, it could have been there. He could have been there. And now Joliet Catholic will take over 1st and 10 from their own 49 yards. They got 51 yards to move. Let's see if they pick up the pace now and start going outside the tackles right here, Mark.
Tomasino back in.
Double inside, look out.
Swarzinski breaks the tackle. As he spins inside the 35 to the 34, a Joliet Catholic first down.
Well, a great play defensively was that Bobby Buchanan? Or no, who was that? Number 34 was Jelinek. Jelinek, the free safety, he hangs on. This is like the kid that gets the last pork chop at dinner. I mean, look at him, he's hanging onto that leg like it was the last leg in the bucket, the chicken bucket. Now Tomasino back in the lineup for Joliet Catholic. Deuce backfield.
From the 34, the give is to Gruber, who already has 3 touchdowns here in this first half. Picks up about 6. To about the 26-yard line.
Well, they want to get it in a little closer here, I'm sure. The clock is running with 1:18 remaining, and the Hilltoppers don't seem to be any rush. I'm telling you, you were laughing at me down in the sidelines. Mike was making fun of me. I told you the over and under on this game is 80 points. We got 41 points in the first half already.
2nd and 3 from the 27.
Breaking a tackle, JR. Oh my goodness.
With another first down as he just barrels in outside the 15-yard line, about the 17.
Mark, that's the way you run in your dreams. I'm telling you, breaking tackles, spinning, picking up extra yards. Oh, what a brilliant play by JR. Nice hand up to Tomasino. JR just follows his blockers. Look at the pulling guard. Hetman gets his head in. Hetman gets 3 blocks on that play. I don't believe it.
They spotted at the 16, so 1st and 10 from the 16.
Gruber, here he is, the scoring machine.
So a couple of blockers ahead of him. It's inside the 10 to about the 9. A 7-yard pickup with 40 seconds remaining.
And a timeout's going to be taken by GCA. They've got it right where they want it. They got the ball at the 10. Joliet Catholic will take a timeout. We've got 40 seconds remaining in the first half of football. And who would have thought, except for me, that there'd be 41 points scored in the first half of football here? What does that mean for the second half? They could score 60 points in the second half when they really pull out all the stops.
Nice honor for a couple of the Hilltoppers earlier this week as we take a look at the Bulldog cheerleaders enjoying this one here tonight. We touched on J.R. Zwerzinski and also the fine big guy Mike Kaloje, 6'8", 292-pound senior. Both of those players elected to the U.S. Army All-American Bowl, Tom, and what an honor that is. It's at the Almadome in San Antonio, Texas on January 5th. Will feature 74 of the nation's top football players. And Joliet Catholic, the only school in the nation with 2 players go into that game.
Well, and these young men certainly deserve it. I mean, these guys are not only great athletes, they're good students, they're great community leaders. I had a chance to meet with both of them during the preseason, and I'll tell you, these guys, Kaloji's as big as a mountain. I'm telling you, in the horizon, you think he's the Sears Tower until you get up closer.
6'8", 292 pounds.
And he doesn't have any fat on him. That's the thing that's scary.
2nd and 4, Hilltoppers from the 10. Tomasino will keep it himself. Gruber will with a block up front. And Tomasino dives inside the 5 to the 4. A 6-yard pickup. First down. It'll be 1st and goal. Joliet Catholic, 32 seconds to go.
32 seconds, but I'll tell you, credit our Riverside Brookfield. RB comes with great pursuit. Quick huddle. They're going to come out with a quick huddle. Break the line. Here they go. Tomasino's going to bring them up quickly. It's a 1st and goal situation for the Hilltoppers. They want to get as many plays off with 32 seconds remaining. In case they can't get out of bounds, they want to get 2 run plays on this. Inside of JR, he's got blockers.
Zwerzinski off
breaks it, he breaks it, he carries them.
Gets to the end zone, touchdown.
Oh my goodness gracious, I don't believe it.
Boy, he just carried Dan Garrett, the strong safety, about the last 3 yards.
What a second quarter of football here by the Hilltoppers. This one's going to go down in the record books. 4 touchdowns. J.R. Zerwinski following his blockers. It looks like he's down. He gets held up by the defensive back, breaks a tackle, carries him in. What an athletic play by that young man. I tell you, we're going to be seeing a lot of that young man for the next 4 years on the college scene after he finishes his great career here with the Joliet Hilltoppers.
33-14, the 2-point conversion by Gruber. He dives, he's got it. So the 2-point conversion is good for the Hilltoppers. 21 seconds remaining here in this first half. It is 35-14 in favor of the 2-time defending state champ Joliet Catholic Hilltoppers.
Zerwinski with an outstanding play. Gruber picks up 3 touchdowns in the second quarter. Zerwinski picks up the 4th touchdown in the second quarter. We're talking about a 12-minute period of time, Mark, and these guys are putting up points like this. And you thought I was crazy. Oh, come on, big guy. This is Southside football at its best. You know that. Everybody knows it. That's why this is the hottest ticket next to the Bears ticket on Sunday. This is the second hottest ticket on the South Side.
Well, Joliet Catholic, the only team in the state to win at least 1 championship in each of the 4 playoff decades, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and of course, they won it last year. Looking to three-peat here.
Well, this game is far from over
Yes.
as Tomasino's going to tee the ball up at his own 40-yard line with just seconds remaining. But I'll tell you, it doesn't take that long for this offense to put points up.
Powers, George, and Guardi are back deep for the Bulldogs.
Let's see how deep Tomasino. If Tomasino puts his whole leg into it, or if they kick it up short. Well, they'll give it the full length.
Well, on the far side here, this is Matt George from his own 12. And George returns it to the 23-yard line, an 11-yard return. 17 seconds to go here for Tim Brasic and the Bulldog offense.
Well, Brasic and Powers, all they need is a seam in about 4 seconds, and they can make this game, they can close that margin very quickly. I told you, the only kind of a lead that's going to be safe here is 28 points. And right now, we're sitting at, what, 21? I'll stand on my word right now. Seconds remaining.
35-14 in favor of Joliet Catholic. 17 seconds to go here in this first half. Brasic out of the shotgun.
Joliet rushes 4, rushes 5. Put
Here to
pressure.
the near side, Guardi pitches
back.
to Chateau
Powers, look out.
across the 40, and he gets knocked out of bounds at the 43-yard line. 16-yard gain for the Bulldogs. Stops the clock with 9 seconds remaining.
You'll never convince me that that was improvisation. That was a set play.
Oh, absolutely.
He picks the ball up. Here comes the trailer to Powers. Powers on the full run runs right past the coverage, and luckily there's getting pursuit help there by the Hilltoppers. Brasic gets the play from the sidelines with 9 seconds remaining. Plenty of time for these Bulldogs.
1st and 10 from their own 44. 3 wideouts to the top of your screen. From the 44, Brasic.
He's got him!
Guardy.
Look out!
He's got it, and he gets knocked out of bounds by Jake Jaworski with 3 seconds to go.
Well, I'll tell you, Jaworski, that may be the biggest tackle of the season. Time's only going to tell with 3 seconds remaining. Brasic's going to bring the troops over. They may take a timeout here to check the situation. What a brilliant play. I'm telling you, that was, you can see now, there's the reception, and Jaworski with a huge tackle knocking him out of bounds. It stopped the clock, yes, but I'll tell you, that was the only one that was going to get him.
Tom Guardy, an all-stater. Tom, he's got the record for career receiving yards, 3,121. He broke the ex-Caitlin all-stater, P.J. Fleck, back in 1998. And he needs 2 more touchdown catches to knock off the state John Schweiger, who has 43 career touchdowns. He did that back in 1998.
Well, I'll tell you, the thing that's amazing is you got a 5A school like this, and they've got such incredible athletes. I mean, we were joking before the game that this is like a jailbreak offense, but you know, to be honest with you, they've got 5 great athletes, and as one high school coach told me earlier today, he says it's like they're running a fast break in basketball. I mean, it's just everybody goes out, he throws the ball to whoever's open.
Well, Coach Zeman himself said this is a basketball team on grass.
Well, they're great athletes, and it's a great ball game, a great atmosphere here at Riverside Brookfield. We've got 3 seconds remaining in the half.
From the 19-yard line, Brasic looking to the end zone. To the right corner, Guardy. Oh no, his feet was not. He was out of bounds. What an effort though by Tom Guardy in that right corner, trying desperately to keep his feet in bounds, but just couldn't get it done. Here's another look.
Here's the replay on the left hash mark. Look at that arm. He just leaves it, heaves it outside. It's single coverage on the outside. And the ball just a little bit overthrown. I mean, he forced him out of bounds, but a great play. And what a way to end the half with trailing by 21. The Bulldogs got 24 minutes of football left.
Welcome back. I'm Luke Jebb, and this is Bulldog Classics. We're at the end of the first half action between the Bulldogs and the Hilltoppers from Joliet Catholic. It's 35-14. It's been a phenomenal game so far. Mr. Zeman, Coach Zeman, what exactly are you looking for out of the next half, and what are you thinking about the first half?
Well, at the end of the first half, when we scored our second touchdown, when it was 28-14, I made a decision there that my son, Matt, will not forgive me for ever, and that's when we onside kicked. And the reason that I thought we had to catch up to him. We weren't stopping him. And I figured we had to get the ball, try to score, because I knew we were going to have the ball in the beginning of the second half. But we onside kicked, and it gave them an opportunity to score right away, which put them up by 3 scores. And then we got the ball back, as you see, with 40 seconds to go. Almost scored on them.
It was close.
It was close, end zone. But again, with we were battling because we knew they were a great football team, but they actually were better than we thought. And we had to scramble. But I still had confidence we were all right.
All right, you got confidence. What about you, Tim? What do you think? Is your faith kind of shaken at this point?
Well, I knew we could score. I wasn't worried about that.
Sure.
But the problem is when you're trading touchdowns and you're already chasing a few, it gets tough.
Yeah.
So I knew our defense. We did a great job coaching, and we just knew we had to get a turnover, and we needed them to make a mistake. So I knew we were going to be okay offensively. I was just worried that I just don't know if we're going to be able to stop them enough times because we already fell behind so much. So my faith kind of wasn't shaken in the sense that I knew we could still do things offensively, but you just get worried when you get down by a few touchdowns to such a great offensive team. You almost get in a hole where you're like, I don't know if we can dig ourselves out.
Yeah, fair enough. So, Mr. Sharp, Coach Sharp, what are you thinking? Because, at this point, you're up a couple scores. You're feeling pretty good, aren't you?
Not really. I feel good that we're up a couple scores, but exactly what Coach Zeman and what Tim Brasic was just saying, they could score at any time, and I knew their confidence was there. They tremendous job. offensively. So our feeling was we had to continue to score.
Yeah.
We couldn't just rest on our laurels. And some of the things that we were doing well, we started running a little bit more misdirection toward the end of that first half and our double handoff package to try and get the linebackers out of position a little bit. And, to us, that's, kind of like a third down pass for us if we can run that double handoff and get a big play off of that. And our philosophy, the nice thing was at halftime is that we didn't really have to change the game plan, was what I felt. I felt that we could continue the offensive game plan the same. Where we were having a problem was defensively. Pressure versus zone. What do we want to do? Do we want to try and cover more zone, bring pressure? We brought pressure on Tim, as you saw early in the first half, and he was able to make big plays running out of there. And then we brought pressure, and he's able to make big plays hitting guys with big, and that's the way we were. That was our team was built on pressure. And obviously they were using their skill peoples to a great advantage. So, and then the onside kicks. I was really concerned about the onside kick.
Sure.
And Otto mentioned that his son was, I'll tell you what, I understood exactly what he was doing, and I agree with 100% what he was trying to do with us with the onside kicks, because they have a plethora of different onside kicks, which we didn't see before. And it was one of those things where, again, he was creating a one-on-one, but one of our guys got to cover that ball with their whole team coming at us. So those were the two things that we're really concerned with, coverage and their onside kicking.
Right,
Actually, two things that in the first half, they had the ball 5 times. And they scored 5 touchdowns. Yeah. We had the ball 5 times. We actually had the ball 6 times, and we only scored 2 touchdowns. So really, look, I remember the announcers that started talking about in the game that it really became matching touchdowns. And that made it just harder and harder for us. Yeah, and it was really difficult. But it was funny at halftime because being down, and when I look back at all the teams over the years, and I don't know, Dan's probably got his favorite teams at Joliet Catholic, sure, but I really think that particular team might have been, if not the greatest, one of the greatest teams ever to play, because I think some of the kids won 3 state titles, I think, that were on that team. Yeah. And here we are, really the upstart guys, we no one knew who are those guys is really where we were. Yeah. And we're down by a team that's not making any mistakes by 3 touchdowns at halftime. And our kids were awesome in the locker room. They weren't panicked. Everyone, we weren't yelling at the kids, and we just said we have to do a better job offensively to have a chance. And it was really for us, a calm halftime. And I think really when you get over the years, and I'm not saying it because he's sitting here, but when you get a chance to coach a kid like Tim, it's really special because he was the guy that was the leader, and he was confident. I don't think Tim's ever entered anything that you didn't think you could win or that you weren't the best. And that's part of the thing mentally that kids have to, if they want to be a great athlete, that's what they have to do.
Sure.
The same thing though with Dan's guys, so they knew they could win too, and we were trying to shake their confidence by doing some of those things.
So what exactly did you and the rest of the coaching staff tell the guys at halftime? You touched on it a little bit. I mean, were you just preaching what you've been preaching all year?
There's not much to do. I think we started. You'll see when we started the third quarter. I made a decision there, and we had the ball in and you'll see it coming up.
We'll see it in just a second.
We're on the 28-yard line, and it's 4th and 12, and we went for it.
Down 35-14.
Down 35-14.
On our own 25-yard line.
And if we don't get that, the game, they're going to slaughter us. It's going to be running clock. But it was our only chance to win. We had to, and we ended up scoring there, and then we stopped them the first time the whole game. And so it was a big momentum changer for us, but we never could get even.
Yeah. Sure.
And that's the thing.
That was a big momentum shift, and it was obvious that there was some coaching at halftime too, because they took advantage of some of our defensive situation, or the coverages we were in, or the blitzes that we were in, and it was obvious when they came out they had an exact plan of how they wanted to attack us. With Powers, with George, and their great receivers that they had. So. There was a lot going on at halftime, I'm sure, in their locker room, and it kept us on our heels. That's
one of the amazing things about this game. I don't know how many plays we ended up having, but Tim passed for 590 some yards. It's the all-time record in one game. They had a ton of offense. There were no turnovers in the game.
Wow.
They didn't fumble. There were no interceptions. Wow. It was like
that's crazy.
From an offensive standpoint. Now, if your defensive coach is not great, but there were no. In a game with that much pressure on kids, high school kids, 17, 18, some 16-year-olds, they're moving ball. No, they're not. And believe me, we're trying to kill their running back. He's a monster, a mountain of a guy, and we're hitting him.
Yeah.
He's holding on the ball. They're not fumbling, and Tim's throwing the ball all over the lot, and there's no interception, which is that's what really kind of made it an epic game.
Okay, well, I'd love to talk more about it, but actually, we got to go to the third quarter action right now, so we'll check back in after the third quarter.
Boy, look at those numbers. The Hilltoppers with a control offense, they put 5, 6, 7 first downs together. They get a score. 19 first downs in the first half. The Bulldogs come up with just 7. Look at the yardage, though, on the rushing. 290 yards. JR picks up 189. Gruber picks up over 100 in the first half. Oh, my goodness. And then look at the passing. A contrasting situation as Brasic picks up 233 yards, 9 of 19 during the first half. A very effective half, but like the coach said, this game is far from over. 24 minutes of football. Don't turn the channel. Stay right where you are, because this one isn't over yet, folks.
Well, in that first half, Brasic with a couple more records. He broke the single-season state record for passing yards set by Tuscaloosa's Dusky Burke, and also for a career state record. He's got over 7,500 yards passing for a career.
Like I said, that's what you had in your dreams, isn't it, Mark?
Well, coming into this one, he had 538 completions. That's a state record. I mean, the list goes on and on for this guy. So Coach Sharp said it, this one is far from over.
Exactly. The thing that's interesting, both of these teams, Mark, in the games and their schedules, Joliet Catholic plays in the Metro Chicago Catholic Metro Division. Their record against their opponents, 6 of their teams had winning records of their opponents. They were 10-1 coming in tonight. 5 of the teams they played had losing records, okay? So what about on the RB side? Well, you look at RB, 5 of their opponents had winning records, 5 of their opponents had losing records, and only one of them had a 500 season. So their opponents very much the same, and you ask yourself, well, then how did the Hilltoppers end up with a number 4 seed? You look at the strength of schedule, it's one of the things that the computer doesn't play on. A lot of coaches told me this week they feel that Joliet Catholic is such a strong program, such a tradition, they belong in not 6A but 7A.
You add it all up, their opponents were 58 and 54. Riverside Brookfield's opponents 51 and 56.
Well, strap yourselves in. This is going to be a whale of a third and fourth quarter. And don't take your eyes away in that last 12 minutes, folks.
Tomasito to kick off. It's Chatone Powers from his own 7. Powers up the middle running. And he gets across the 30 to the 31-yard line. And that's where Brasic and the Bulldog offense will take over here as we start third quarter action.
Jake Stanafsky there on the special teams coverage for the Hilltoppers as they bring him down, and now Brasic will start where he left off. Just seconds here into the third quarter.
Three wideouts to the bottom of your screen here. Guardy, Tierney, and also Chatone Powers. Brasic will keep it on the quarterback draw. Oh, and he will get met by Mike Kaloje, 6'8", 292 pounds.
If you're going to do a quarterback draw, that's not the guy you want to see in the middle. My God, Brasic's going to have nightmares thinking about that one again. The young man from Joliet may be destined to move on to the University of Michigan, but nonetheless, he'll be playing for 4 years. Here we can see Brasic. It looks like the play that they had designed. He looks downfield and then tucks it in very quickly. And Kaloji reads it like a book. Back to the action.
2-yard loss, so 2nd and 12 here to the near side. Overthrown intended for Chatone Powers. Anthony Jutras, the safety, was there in the coverage.
That time Joliet mixed it up. They rushed 3. They dropped back into a 6-pack defense. You notice I'm not saying a nickel defense. We're talking about a 6-pack. When you bring 5 receivers, you got to have a 6-pack defense out there. And that's exactly what Joliet went with. 3 down linemen rushing, and that time they got away with a bad throw by Brasic.
Tom, it'll be a 3rd and 12 situation here from their own 39. Brasic here to Guardy, and it is, well, wrestled for it. Who? Incomplete. All right, the coverage there. Jutras once again. Good coverage on Guardy.
Well, finally we saw Brasic as human. I was starting to doubt my eyes here, but he underthrew that ball by a good 4 or 5 yards. He'd love to have that one back because he had great separation by his receiver. He just simply underthrew the play. Good comeback coverage, but if he would have hit the receiver in stride, they've had 6 points by now.
Well, now, 4th and 12 from their own 29.
Oh, they're playing with fire.
Well, Brasic can punt it, but So they can go either way here.
Joliet dropping back. They're dropping men off the line. No, he's going to throw it on the slant in.
To the air, Guardi makes the catch, and he gets out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Again, they went to Tom Guardi this time. He cashes in.
A miracle reception. Oh my God, if we got that one on replay, put it up in the Library of Congress, because this is one to keep. Look at this play. 4th down and 10. He throws the ball. A fingertip, one-handed catch. He brings it in for the touchdown. Back to the action, Mark.
Unbelievable. Coach Seaman with no conscience. 4th and 12. Decides to go for it. Guardi comes up with a big catch. Against, underthrown behind Matt Tierney, the intended receiver.
Brasic again, he rushed himself. He had him wide open. Somehow he got wide open on the coverage. On the slant in. That was Tierney, number 7, on the slant in from the slot. And he just rushed the throw, threw it behind him. Brasic wants that one back. 2nd down, he'll get it on this one. Watch.
2nd and 10 from the 44-yard line of Joliet Catholic. A minute gone by here in this 3rd quarter. Brasic looks to his left, and he's got Guardi. Guardi looking for the end zone. Touchdown!
I told you.
Guardi. Oh my, 44 yards out. And so now Tom Guardi is 1 touchdown catch away from tying the state record held by John Schweigart. As we take another look at the 44-yard touchdown strike.
Textbook slant in play. Again, the receiver's just too much speed for those cornerbacks. Gets a half a step of separation and a pinpoint pass right on the receiver's hands. We're going to go back and try for 2 on this one.
35-20 now. The Bulldogs looking for the 2-point conversion. Brasic looking to his right, and it is in.
Nice
well,
play.
it is picked off there. Ryan Lincoln on the 2-point conversion. The pass intended for Chatone Powers. Nice coverage and a nice play there by Lincoln.
Well, it took a little over a minute for Riverside Brookfield to get back on the scoreboard. They've cut their deficit to just 15 points. And I'll tell you, that's not much of a lead for Joliet Catholic when you consider the speed at which the Riverside Brookfield Bulldogs can put points up.
Took them a whole minute and 7 seconds to score here. 35-20. 10:53 remaining here this 3rd quarter. Mark Kruger along with Tom Bonin, Mike Zaworski down on the sidelines. Delighted to have you with us here on the AT&T Broadband Network Game of the Week. Class 5A quarterfinal matchup as you look at Guardi. "44-yard touchdown strike from Brasic to Guardi brings the Bulldogs to within 15, 35-20, and now.
Well, who knows what they're going to do here, Mark? They've been going with that onside kick. They got it down to a science. They've only got 3 up linemen here. Right in the middle is Kaloji, number 90, 6'8". He's the center on the basketball team. They kick away from him.
They try the onside kick. This is number 11, Luke Reichek, who performed the onside kick.
It looks like I got a flag on the far side of the field, Mark.
I think RB may have been offsides. They may have to do this one again.
Well, I'll tell you, not only is it, the stadium packed, but the press box is packed. We talked about it before, how, just about every news broadcaster is out here. All the sports writers are out here with this is a big game, one of the best quarterfinal matchups in a long time. Our good friend Scott Slocum from WJOL down in Joliet, they're broadcasting next door to us. I tell you, I know he's going to lose his voice before this night's over. Scotty, he's not going to be able to contain himself. They do all their games for Joliet Catholic. They do a great job down there in Joliet. Congratulations to them and the Hilltoppers on a great season. We're going to redo this one, move the ball back 5 yards.
Ryan Dowlins, I was a member of the Cardinal basketball team with Scott Slocum just a couple of years ago. Dowlins now in the conventional kick. Well, this one will scoot out of bounds.
Yeah, they'll bring that one back. Flag goes up over there on the far side in front of the Hilltoppers bench. They'll just bring this ball out, set it from the penalty spot there at the 40-yard line.
Yep, so that's where Craig Tomasino and the Hilltoppers will take over here, 10:50 to go.
Well, now what our fans are going to be looking for on this, Mark, is just how quickly the Hilltoppers, you got to believe that they're going to run inside the tackles again. That was the formula for success in the first half. Are they going to really just kind of lean on this defense for Riverside Brookfield and try to punish them? I mean, it's almost like, a knockout blow. They're just setting them up for that knockout blow eventually.
Interesting, 10:50 to go, third quarter. No turnovers to speak of here tonight in this quarterfinal matchup.
Well, we had a couple, we had that one, they had the fumble on that pass play at the end of the second quarter. But back to the action now is Tomasino back in the lineup.
First and 10 from their own 40.
Kleeman in the back the backfield there has the run on a quick hit up the middle. Kleeman in for number 40, Hetman out of the lineup. So Kleeman in getting some running time, and nice play on that. They pick up about 4.
Kurt to 5'10", 180-pound sophomore to the 43.
I'll tell you, Joliet just keeps coming with younger players. They just reload every year. That's all they do. Deuce backfield.
Tomasino handing it off to Gruber. And Gruber dives across the 45 and now gets pushed back, but before progress, they'll mark it around the 46, so we'll bring up a third at about 4.
Yeah, nice play there. Again, Riverside getting great pursuit. I'll tell you, for a defensive unit that's undersized against this offensive line for Joliet, they're doing a great job with backside pursuit, picking up as the play slows down. The thing where Joliet's going to be dangerous is on the quick hits. Now see how this play just takes a long time to set up. The guard gets out there, and most of it by Gruber. Back to third down and 4.
Bulldog crowd. The double handoff. Swarzinski across midfield, spins to the 46-yard line of Riverside Brookfield. A Hilltopper first down.
See, there's the situation. That quick hitter up the middle, Mark, where they just don't allow the defense to get a second chance at JR. He gets through that line so quick, and then it's into the secondary. As we can see, the inside handoff. And boy, I tell you, could have driven a truck through that hole. He must have thought he was in for pay dirt on that one.
Boy, Gruber, Swarzinski, they have gotten so many open holes here. Give some credit, a lot of credit to that offensive line of the Hilltoppers.
They're very well coached, and they are executing nicely tonight as JR comes left.
Cuts it up, and he'll get hit by Dan Garrett, the safety, among other Bulldog defenders there.
Well, see, now what's happening here is Riverside Brookfield is gambling a lot. They're bringing up their corners very quickly to close down JR. That's going to hurt him. If Tomasino decides to put this ball in the air, they've already committed to the run, and somebody can sneak in from behind him. So watch Gruber. If Gruber sets up in the slot back or a flanker back, they may just throw the ball here sooner or later. They're setting up RB for that right now. They're on the left hash mark. Let's see which direction they go.
2nd and 7 from the 43-yard line of Riverside Brookfield. Again, the double handoff, Gruber, and Gruber dives across the 40 to the 36, close to another Joliet Catholic first down.
Picks up about 5 on the play. He needed to get to the 35.
Third and about a yard, short. It looks like, Tom, yep.
It's going to be, he looks like he's just a couple lengths of the football, but we can see from the marker on the far side of the field, he needs about less than a yard, but you can see exactly where the chains are on the far side of the field. 3rd and 1, they're going to call it. This is exactly where they're so dangerous, because if they do that quick hitter with Gruber or with JR, this is where they can break through into the secondary. 4 down linemen now for Riverside Brookfield.
3rd and less than a yard. The give to Gruber. He gets it in the backfield. Nice job there by Louis Cebular, the senior linebacker, bringing him down, and he'll bring up a 4th down.
A great defensive play, perfect penetration. You can see Gruber trying to get outside to pick up his block. Oh man, what a great play by that young man.
Well, now
I'll tell you, it's going to be 4th and 1, and it looks like a long one now after you get shut down in the 3rd and 1.
Bulldog defense is going to have to come up big again here. Hilltoppers going for it.
This is what champions are made of right here. 4th down and 1 from the 41.
The double handoff to Gruber. I don't think he got it. I think he was held short. Ryan Dowlins, the middle linebacker, was there to snuff out Gruber. And it will go to the Bulldogs on downs.
Oh, what a huge stand by the defense. We talked about what it takes to be a character in this game. Look at this play. Oh, my goodness. Penetration. Great play by Chevalier. That captain, he's the captain of the defense. He's come to play tonight, wants to be counted, and now Brasic back on the field with his 5-receiver offense.
We'll see if that defensive stance can fire up this offensive unit here for
They
the
struck
Bulldogs.
like lightning a couple minutes ago. Now we're back on the field from the 39, or
Trailing.
35.
Trailing by 15 here, 35 to 20. Bracek looking here to the near side for Guardi. He's skies for it and comes down with it. He went over Anthony Jutras to bring it down at the 43. What a catch by Guardi.
Vertical jump. He had to be 28 to 30 inches off the ground. Look at this replay. He just leaps up and takes this ball out of the air. What a brilliant reception. Back to the action now. Oh, we got a timeout's going to be taken by, I think it's going to be Joliet Catholic. They'll call a timeout and try and regroup because, Mark, what are we talking about? We're talking about tempo. All of a sudden, RB has stolen the tempo of this game.
Tom Guardi, a straight A student, 32 on the ACT test. One up high to grab that one. 6'2", 200-pound senior, one of the captains on this Bulldog offensive unit.
Well, most of us, if we took the ACT twice, we couldn't get 32 on our totals.
Well, celebrating 100 years of youth music and excellence, the Chicago Children's Choir, along with the Chicago Youth Symphony Orchestras, presents Handel's Messiah. There you see it, Saturday, December 22nd at 7:30 p.m. Also Sunday, December 23rd at 3 p.m. For more information and tickets, visit the choir's website. There you see it, www.ccchoir.org, or phone 312-849-8300, extension 233. Mark Kruger, Tom Bodden, along with Mike Sawarski down on the field. 35 to 20 in favor of Joliet Catholic.
Well, there's a partisan crowd on this side of the field, but on the other side, Joliet's brought all their fans, so they're matching off right now is Bracek.
First and
First
10
down.
from the 43. Out in the flat is Powers. Powers tries to get a block as he maneuvers across the 40 to the 38-yard line. Out of all that, about a 6-yard pickup.
Nice looking play, but that's a play that if Joliet wants to gamble on, that ball traveled about 30 yards in the air, and that's one that they can pick off, but they're going to have to gamble to get a chance to do that. So somebody's going to have to guess right for the defensive coordinator.
2nd and 4 as we come up on the 7-minute mark of this third quarter. From the 37-yard line of Joliet Catholic.
Looks like an audible. He was out there a long time. He's going to draw it.
Quarterback draw, Bracek, and he'll get
He
hit.
may have picked it up. He's close. He's close to the first down. Bracek saw something out there. They must have pulled somebody off the line. They only had 3 down linemen, and they had basically their 6-pack defense. Well, it's going to be third. He's going to be about a yard short. So interesting call here.
They spot the ball at the 34-yard line. It'll be 3rd and about a yard. The officials, Bill Laudy and P.J. Schneider, talking things over. And, well, there's an officials timeout. Okay, they want to come out and measure this one here, but from the looks of it, they're going to be a little bit short. Got a moment here. We should mention our outstanding AT&T Broadband Network crew. Tonight's game being produced and directed by Andy Ziokowski, Anthony Bordignon in the truck, Dale Van Duser, Fernando Guerin, Maggie Sendra, Jules Stevens, our camera operators, Jennifer Howard, Bill Funches, Greg Harshbarger, Ken Cheetah Masters, our engineer, Tony Frevaletti, the executive producer of tonight's Game of the Week, Becky Cianci, along with Mike Zaworski, Tom Bodden, I'm Mark Kruger. Hope you're enjoying this Class 5A quarterfinal matchup.
Well, what an all-star lineup for a great ball game here tonight in Riverside Brookfield. I tell you, the giraffes are straining their necks to see what's going on over here. Brookfield Zoo's just about 2 9-irons away from here. And I'll tell you, those giraffes wish they could get in the stadium tonight, but there's nowhere for them to get in.
Bulldogs on 3rd and less than a yard. 4 wideouts here to the near side. Again, it's the quarterback draw. Bracek looking to cut to the outside. He'll have the first down as he gets out of bounds inside the 30 to the 28. Heads up play there by Bracek.
Well, I'll tell you, he faked that defensive lineman right out of his whatever, and his bejesus, as we'll say. I don't know if we're going to get a replay on that, but a great play by Bracek as he just fakes him here. He tucks it under, he gives him a little head fake, and then jukes outside, picks up the first down, back to the action, 1st and 10 from the 29.
We're halfway through this third quarter. Bracek has got his man, through the hands of Matt George. Incomplete.
Now there's a situation, at least from our vantage point up here, it looked like Bracek took a little bit off of that pass. If he'd have fired it in there, he would have been able to get the connection. The receiver was there. The intended receiver on that play was George, who picked up the first touchdown, but it looked like a little bit too much finesse on that as he tried to thread the needle. If he'd have just thrown it hard, I think it would have been completed. But back to the action. That's not only a loss of 1 down. They got 3 more to go.
Tierney, Powers, and Guardy here to the near side. On second down, the pass is knocked down there by the big guy, Mike Kaloje. All 6'8". Batted it down at the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 3rd and 10 from the 28.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the guys that gets absolutely no recognition on the Bulldogs team here from Riverside is the center, number 54, Sikora. You know, he's a senior on the team, 6 foot, 185 pounder, and he's the guy that's putting that ball right back there every time without missing. You know, we talk about Brasic. He's had, 51 touchdowns coming into tonight and only 9 interceptions on the year. That's remarkable for a guy who's thrown almost 500 passes this year.
3rd and 10 from the 28.
Here's a new look.
Comes in motion here to the near side. Steps up, Brasic, still looking. Now throws it, and the pass is complete to Powers. Powers makes a move, spin.
Oh!
What a move by Powers as he dives inside the 10. 1st and goal for the Bulldogs.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't want my money back because that was worth it right there. Just our ticket alone to see that play. What a brilliant play by Powers. Watch this replay, folks. You're not going to believe it. Fakes left, fakes right, little juke step, comes out, a big spin move. Oh my goodness gracious. A highlight reel on one play for this young man. Powers doing it all here for the Riverside Brookfield fans. Back to the action, 1st down.
They spot it right at the 10-yard line. So 1st and goal here for the Bulldogs. Brasic looks to his left, to the corner for Guardy. Through his hands, incomplete to the far corner. Oh my, the coverage there by Chris Minerich, number 9.
What a rocket. That is, to me, this is the most impressive pass of the night. Watch this arm speed. Oh my goodness. Puts it right out there. Little bit of separation. Oh, the defender got a hand on it, that's all. I think, in fact, what it did is it hit his forearm. It hit the defender's forearm as it was coming down. So an unlucky break for Brasic. That, to me, was the best throw of the night by the young man. I'll tell you, I'm just surprised that we're not seeing the big colleges out here looking at this young man because he can do it all.
3 wide outs to the lower right-hand side of your screen. Brasic has some time, throws, and he's got Powers across the middle to the end zone, touchdown!
Oh, beautiful.
10 yards from Tim Brasic to Chatone Powers. Powers, who last week with 9 catches, 136 yards and a touchdown in their 54-27 victory over Geneseo. Tom, take another look at it.
What a play. Here it is. He buys a little time. They're rushing 3 men only. And on the comeback route, Powers, nobody's going to keep up with Powers coming across the middle. I don't care who it is. 42, Ryan Lincoln, the middle linebacker, can't do it. We're going to go for the extra point here.
Looks like they're going for the 2-point conversion here. 3 wide outs to the bottom right-hand side of your screen. That's where Brasic's looking. Into the end zone for Powers. He comes down with it. It's good. Ryan Lincoln was no match for Chatone Powers. In the right corner, the 2-point conversion is good. 35-28 in favor of Joliet Catholic. 5:11 to go.
Well, I'll tell you, I didn't have enough nerve to suggest it at the beginning of the game, but there's so much game left. I'm going to tell you right now, we're just going to count the number of touchdowns. We don't have to look at the scoreboard. We're just going to look at it. It's 5-4 right now. 5 touchdowns for the Bulldogs, 4 touchdowns for Riverside Brookfield. I'm telling you, what a ball game. The only guys who have scored here in the second half are who? The Bulldogs of Riverside Brookfield. 2 touchdowns to none here in the second half.
Well, just as exciting as those touchdowns are these kickoffs. You don't know it's going to be an onside.
Well, I tell you, the Hilltoppers own the second quarter. It looks like the Bulldogs want the third quarter as theirs.
Jaworski from his own 11 spins across the 15-yard line to the 17-yard line. Good downfield coverage there by the Bulldogs.
The fans are getting into it, and we can see the fans here starting to erupt on the blue and white side of the field.
We'll be back with more third quarter action right after this.
Welcome back here to Brookfield. Gruber got the call on 1st and 10 from the 23, picked up 2. So 2nd down and 8, Hilltoppers from their own 25. 4 minutes and 44 seconds remaining here in quarter number 3. 35-28. Here's another look at the 2-yard pickup by Gruber.
Now what Joliet wants to do on this series here is they want to hold the ball, just hold possession, run out the clock here in the third quarter. Inside play to JR, and he scoots through there, picks up about 7. He'll be close to the first down.
Double handoff, that has been so successful.
Well, I'll tell you, you know what, Mark? When they do it quickly, when they hit that hole and JR gets into past the linebackers on that play, it's a very dangerous play because he'll break that for long yardage.
I tell you, it's not that complicated, Tom. There's been just about 5 or 6 different plays that Joliet Catholic runs. They say, hey, this is what we're running. Try to stop us.
That's right. And when you got a line that averages about 270, I beg anybody to try and stop them. Nobody has so far.
3rd and 3 from their own 31. Swerzinski, and he should have a first down. Ball loose. Oh, this would be big.
Might have been the whistle before that. I mean, it looked like he was stopped in the air. Now, whether he lost the ball, no, they're going to say he didn't lose the ball. The whistle had blown first.
Chris Anastopoulos.
Maybe we can see it on the replay as JR comes through. He's got the ball there. He's got the ball there.
I think
he was stopped.
Down, yeah.
He was stopped at that point in time. The whistle probably blew. So it was probably a good call, a good whistle. Not what the Bulldog fans would have liked to have seen. And I'm sure they're cursing that moment, but we're back to the action now.
1st and 10 Hilltoppers from their own 33. Swerzinski with a minimal gain there as it took 4 Bulldogs to bring him down. About a 2-yard pickup to the 35.
Well, good penetration that time again defensively by the Bulldogs as they're coming through. They're getting good penetration at the line and slowing that play down. It gives their D-backs a chance to come up. I'll tell you, the Bulldogs, they're taking some great big gambles here, and still Joliet just keeps pounding and pounding and pounding. They're getting 8 men in the box. Look at this play.
2nd and 8 from their own 36. Tomasino will take it himself after faking to Swerzinski to the far side, and he gets shoved out of bounds. Another Joliet Catholic first down. A great play call there by Tomasino.
You know, I'm sure he saw exactly what we saw, Mark. He saw 9 men in the box. He might have broken the play himself when he says, wait a minute, if I get outside, here's the play. It's a fake, it's a handoff. No, that was a good play. He's got seal back blocks. He's coming back outside. If he would have changed his angle there and cut back, he might have been able to take it all the way. But you know what? I'll tell you, the Bulldogs are out on the field, and that's exactly where Joliet Catholic wants to keep them. They want the defense out on the field. Riverside Brookfield has stolen the tempo of the game here in the third quarter. Joliet Catholic needs to exert their power right now.
From the 41 of the Bulldogs, again a double handoff. This is Gruber, the ball carrier. Gruber picks up about 8 yards to the 33-yard line, 2nd and short. What an effort by Chris Gruber.
One team electric, the other team plodding, and nothing fancy. They just come at you with 270-pound linemen, with 200-pound blocking backs. They do some very sophisticated blocking schemes out there, and they dare you to stop them. Riverside Brookfield's got 9 men in the box. They can't stop the run.
They spotted at the 34 here, Tom, so it'll be 2nd down and 3. Again, it's Gruber the call. And Gruber maybe back to the line of scrimmage, perhaps a yard on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and a couple.
Well, a nice play that time. They knew it was going to be a run. They figured it was going to come to Gruber again. And Riverside Brookfield's able to stop him for a very small gain. It's going to bring up a huge play for Joliet. They need the right call here as they bring it right back to the hash mark on the right side of the field. 3rd and 2.
Under 2 minutes to go here in this third quarter. Yeah, that's the big question. Can this Bulldog defense come up and stop these Hilltoppers here?
Well, I'll tell you, it's the thing that's been impressive. It's been the defense of the Bulldogs in this quarter. They're getting the fans into it.
3rd and 2, Swerzinski, and he'll have the first down as he barrels across the 30 to the 28.
And another wall of blue shirts out there, the smothered Zerwinski. I'll tell you, the poor guy's got nowhere to go. I mean, he's like the most popular guy in the field. They know they're going to give him the ball. Look, they know the ball's coming to JR, and he's just smothered. Look at all the blue shirts in the picture frame there. Boy, great camera work, guys. That's just outstanding stuff.
1st and 10, Hilltoppers from the 29-yard line of Riverside Brookfield. 1:10 to go, third quarter. Again, the double handoff.
Gruber
with some blocking ahead.
He's
One
got
of
an
them,
arm on.
Tomasino, and he spins, knocked out of bounds by Britt Davis, but the quarterback, Craig Tomasino, out there with a nice block.
Oh, yeah, he had a great lineup out there, a well-designed play. They got outside quickly. That play actually could have gone a lot more damage on it. They were Riverside Brookfield's lucky to break it up because he had plenty of blocking, where even a cameraman had a tough time picking up. Look at that blocking scheme. He just couldn't get out there quick enough. Nice play in the open field. A great open field tackle there by number 19, Davis.
1st and 10, Joliet Catholic from the 18-yard line.
This is a big play right here, Mark.
Gruber to Zwerzinski.
Oh,
Zwerzinski looking for Dane Paydirt, and he's in. 18 yards for J.R. Zwerzinski.
Boy, I'll tell you, he looked like a guy with smallpox out there. Nobody wanted to touch him. He goes right through, scoots through the line of scrimmage and into the secondary, and then it was all over at that point. That's the play we're talking about. They're doing it inside the tackles. Inside handoff to JR on the delayed block. Oh, what a beautiful block. Kaloji smothering. Talk about a pancake block. Oh, my goodness.
So the Hilltoppers on top now, 41-28. 18-yard run by J.R. Zwerzinski. Zwerzinski, by the way, 18th on the state's all-time career rushing list.
Keeper.
Tomasino on the keeper to the left corner, and he is in. 2-point conversion good. Craig Tomasino. And it's 43-28 in favor of Joliet Catholic.
And for you arithmetically and challenged people out there, that's 6 touchdowns to 4 touchdowns. I'm telling you, I've given up on these extra points. I don't think either of these teams is planning on kicking an extra point or a field goal at this point.
55 seconds to go here in this 3rd quarter. That was a huge drive by Joliet Catholic, stopping that momentum that Tom you talked about that Riverside Brookfield had in the early part of this quarter.
Well, clearly Riverside Brookfield owned the first 9 minutes of the 3rd quarter. They came out, charged out, picked up 2 touchdowns very quickly on some dramatic plays. Powers with the touchdown after Garardi scored at the 10-minute mark in the 3rd quarter. Just outstanding stuff. But I'll tell you, this game is far from over. That 2 points by Tomasino is huge. A huge play by Tomasino.
Let's go down on the field to Mike Zaworski. Mike, what have you got?
Guys, it's real interesting. Bracek getting ready to get the football back in his hands. And watch the ball boys right now. They got the balls being warmed up by the heater for Bracek, and something seems awfully appropriate about that.
Well, I'll tell you, the way he throws the ball, he doesn't have to worry about warming it up. It's blazing by the time it gets to the hands of those receivers.
So Tomasino teeing it up at the 40-yard line here. Boy, just a beautiful night for football here in Brookfield. No wind to speak of. Tomasino kicking it off. Chatone Powers on 1 bounce from his own 10.
He's got the seam.
He's got some room. He cuts to the outside. Still going across the 40. 45. Jukes across the 45 and to the 44-yard line of Joliet Catholic. A brilliant return by Chatone Powers.
Well, credit Tomasino there, the quarterback, with the perfect angle on the play to bring him down, or else Powers would be in the end zone right now. Look at this. After the kickoff, watch number 3 come into your view here in a second. As Powers seems to get some daylight, it looks like he's going to run away from the play. And now suddenly the kicker, Tomasino's going to come in, cut down his angle as he's got a beautiful play there. Back to the action.
4 wide receivers to the top of your screen. Brandon Davis, the lone wide out here at the bottom of your screen.
They're setting up the delay.
Bracek with a lot of time now gets flushed out here and has to wisely throw it away. Yes. Well, the Joliet Catholic defense looking for intentional grounding. No flags coming out, however.
Well, he wasn't in the grasp of anyone, and he was just trying to look for a receiver. There was somebody in that direction, but much further down the field. So a very head-up play. Great penetration, great pursuit that time. Great pressure by Joliet Catholic, and that's what they've got to do. They've got to, even if they can force him just a half a step to throw that ball a little bit early, it'll give their D-backs a little bit of a chance. 4 down linemen now for Joliet on the rush. They're coming. On a blitz, 5-man.
From the 43, Guardi, the outstretched hands, and the dive incomplete.
Right where Joliet Catholic came blitzing from the center there, they go right back to the middle. A great call, a great play by Riverside Brookfield, just an inch off on the play.
Well, we'll bring up a 3rd down and 10 situation here for the Bulldogs with 32 seconds to go 3rd quarter.
Well, I'll tell you, the fans are probably disappointed, Mark. We've only got 3 touchdowns in this quarter. We had 6 in the second quarter and only 3 here. Things must be slowing down here. Maybe the lads are getting tired. I doubt that. Powers motion.
Yep,
Look at
goes
that.
in motion there to the far side on 3rd down and 10. Brasic looking to his left. Throwing
Oh,
it.
he's
He's
got
got his
him.
man, Matt George, with the reception and looking for the end zone.
He's got it.
Touchdown. 43 yards from Tim Brasic to Matt George. And Riverside Brookfield now trails it by 9, 43 to 34. Take
Well,
another
I'll
look.
tell you, great play by Brasic as he just shuttles his feet and then hits the receiver.
Oh, man.
Defense, he outruns the defense. Then he comes back and makes a great individual effort to get into the end zone. And I'll tell you, the Riverside fans have everything to cheer for. I'll tell you, you're getting your money's worth tonight.
Took him 34 seconds to strike.
Well, George had the first touchdown from Brasic back in the first quarter. Now he's at the end of the third quarter. He's going to pick up another touchdown. This game is far from over, 43-34, and they're going to go for 2.
3 wide outs to the bottom. Brasic looking that way. Now gets flushed out here to the near side under some pressure. Still looking. Throws it. Intended for Powers, but it's Matt Tierney who comes down with it. Oh my! 2-point conversion is good. What a nice job by Tim Brasic. We've got a flag. It's against Joliet Catholic.
Yeah, I think it's going to be roughing the passer. It seemed like one of the pursuers, they hit him when he was out of bounds after he delivered the ball. What a great play.
Boy, great poise there by Brasic. He was under some tremendous pressure. Got flushed out here to the near side. A 2-point conversion to Matt Tierney is good, and it's 43-36.
Well, a 7-point ball game, and who would have guessed it, right? And you guys laughed at me. We got 79 points on the board, and we still got 12 minutes to go, and you guys are saying, Bonin, you're nuts. I'm telling you, the over and under was 80 points on this, and I took the over.
Oh, okay.
This game is far from over, folks. This could be one of these ball games. I'm telling you, both teams could score 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
Well, the big question is whether or not this Bulldog defense can stop the Hilltoppers. Back deep for Joliet Catholic, Bobby Wilkinson and Jake Jaworski. 21 seconds to go here, third quarter. Now, it's interesting, number 50, that's, I should say is that number 50?
Number 50, right.
For Riverside Brookfield, that's Ryan Dowlins. He tees it up, but it's been number 11, Luke Rysek, who's actually kicked the onside kicks. They both kicked it.
Well, anything goes in this ball game.
Exactly.
This is like you play it out in the sand lot. You draw it up on the sand.
Well, this time it is Dowlins
He'll kick it
kicking
down.
away. And this will be Jaworski from his own 10. And Jake brings it back to about the 30-yard line. That's where the Hilltoppers will take over here. 15 seconds to go in this third quarter.
Well, 1st and 10 at the 30 with just only a few seconds remaining. But I'll tell you, with these two teams, anything could happen. We could score 2 more touchdowns in this quarter, the way things are going. And the fourth quarter, I'm telling you, Mark, the fourth quarter is going to be one gamble after another. It's just going to be a question of how big the stakes are. This is a big ante game. It's a huge ante game. The winner takes all. The other guys are watching on television for the rest of the year.
1st and 10, Hilltoppers should be the last play of the quarter. And this is the fullback Hetman. And Brett gets 5 to the 35-yard line. And that is indeed the final play of this third quarter. 43-36 in favor of the Joliet Catholic Hilltoppers. Wolves take a step aside, catch our breath back for the final 12 minutes right after this.
And welcome back to Bulldog Classics. I'm Luke Jebb. With me today are the 2 head coaches, and Dan Sharp from the Hilltoppers, Otto Zeman from the Bulldogs, and also the QB, Tim Brasic, for this momentous game, between the Bulldogs and the Hilltoppers. And it's the end of the third quarter. It's a pretty close game right now. The third quarter was an offensive clinic by the Bulldogs. Mr. Zeman, would you like to talk about that a little bit?
The quarter started out 35-14, and it ended up 42 to I think 36 is what it was. We started closing the gaps, and I think one of the things that happened, our kids started believing that they had a chance to win. And we put if it was possible, we put some doubt into Joliet Catholic. You know, they said, you know, these guys are for real. The weather was a perfect night. That's another thing about the night. It was just a great, as you can see, it was just a great night weather-wise, and you know, we're just going to play forever.
Yeah.
You know, and the game's going to go on and on. But we started out with that 4th down play that we got the first down. Joliet Catholic, we stopped them one time on 4th and 1 or something. They had one of their little counters, and we were lucky. It was a great play. And then, actually, Dan, you could probably talk. You actually faked a punt.
Yeah, we tried to fake a punt, and again, defended very well, and we kind of bobbled it there a little bit, fumbled, and we recovered our own fumble, but unfortunately, it was a situation where, you know, we didn't make the first down, so we turned the ball over on downs. But again, it was one of those things that, you know, we like to run some fake punts, but Coach Zeman and his team was well prepared for that against us, and it's a play that I definitely would have tried again, because now we're feeling what they are. Now, I don't want to give the ball at all to Riverside Brookfield. So similar to the onside kicks, we're going to fake punts and try and hang on to that football, because if we give it up, it doesn't matter how long the field is, because Timmy's going to throw it 90 yards or he's going to throw it 20 yards. So it doesn't matter how long the field is. And so it's funny how that psychology plays throughout in the course of the game when you see the momentum shift over to Riverside Brookfield that quarter.
Okay, well, you know, it's an offensive clinic so far, so let's check back in for 4th quarter action, because it's about to get crazy.
Welcome back to Shuey Stadium here in Brookfield.
You know, Mark, it's almost sad to think that one of these guys is going to lose. I mean, this is, you know, at the end of their season, but boy, what a way to go out. You can't ask any more of these kids. These parents, these grandparents, these nephews and nieces, uncles and aunts can't be prouder of these kids. And I'll tell you, I'm just glad to be a part of this. It's just a perfect night in Chicago. What a great country and a great game.
Putting on an unbelievable show here in Brookfield. The give to Gruber, and Gruber gets to about the 34, a 2-yard pickup. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 6 situation here as we open up this 4th and final quarter.
The linebackers really coming up to task now. RB took tempo of the game in the 3rd quarter. They're trying to get their fans into it. You can see that they're raising their arms, trying to get the fans into every play. They need the energy of this 8,000 crowd here in Riverside. What a perfect game, a perfect night, and a perfect scenario for one of these teams to win.
Big play here. 3rd and 6. Joliet Catholic from their own 33. The double handoff, Swerzinski. And he's not going to get it as he gets to the 35-yard line, well shy of the first down. It'll bring up 4th and 5.
Well, great the penetration on the right side of the line is what forced JR to go farther, deeper into the backfield and cut down his angle. He really had an opportunity there. You can see on the replays, he gets outside. He's just got a stutter step there, wait for his blockers as he tries a cutback. And, of course, there was no seam there for him to cut back on. Back to the action. There's the RB fans. Look at that face paint.
Well, Joliet Catholic.
Here it is, baby.
Here. Oh, my. Here we go.
4th and 4, deuce backfield.
From their own 36.
Oh, they'll switch it out.
Gruber, the lone setback here.
JR's going to punt back. JR's in punt formation. They're going to kick it out of here. Oh, no,
they give
short.
It to Gruber.
It's an up short to Gruber.
Gruber looking for the
He's
first
going to pick it up.
Spins. He'll have it up the 40-yard line.
Fumble.
Who's got it? Joliet Catholic.
Kaloji picks it up. Now wait, see what happens. See if they knock it down. He was past the line of scrimmage to pick up the first down, but the way everybody's yelling down here, RB's going to take over.
Oh, my. And here, take another look at it. The give to the up-back Gruber.
He's going to have enough for the first down, Mark.
He spins right there. He
lost it right there.
Yeah.
But he lost the ball. The ball's going to come in the backfield. Kaloji, trailing, picks it up. But RB's out there. Brasic ready to go with action. 1st and 10 from the 35. Oh, my goodness.
Unbelievable. 1st and 10. Bulldogs from the 34-yard line of Joliet Catholic. That play will be talked about for quite a while.
Three receivers down on the left side.
Brasic now gets sacked.
He's smothered. He eats it.
Back at the 44-yard line, the first sack of the night.
Well, that was a great call by Dan Sharp and the defensive coordinators because they blitzed from a zone blitz on that. They came in with the linebacker. They got great penetration. Brasic can't get good coverage downfield. He tucks it under. And there's the linebackers picking up 53-61 on the sack.
Matt Maticek.
Now wait a minute, the officials are indicating hold the clock here, so they've stopped the clock with 9:56 remaining in the ball game.
Well, it was Maticek and also initially Chris Basie, number 56, the linebacker, that came in heavily on Brasic. As you take a look at Otto Zeman, what an exciting offense this man has put together.
Well, I tell you, it is, and let's give credit where credit is due, because I tell you, this officiating staff out there tonight's game's done an outstanding job. This is not an easy game. I mean, you're a football official, not a fast break official or a warden. I mean, you need a warden with that jailbreak offense out there. You need a warden to keep these guys in line.
Saw Dan Sharp there a moment ago on the far sideline for the Hilltoppers. Well, so
Second and
now
long, 2nd and 20, but that doesn't mean anything with this offense.
now from the 42-yard line, 10:05 remaining. 43-36, Joliet Catholic. 3 wideouts here to the near side. That's where Brasic looks.
Double throw.
And Tierney will go. Look for Guardi, and it's nearly picked off there. Fine coverage there by Jake Jaworski. Oh my, Coach Zeman goes deep into his playbook. Brasic passed it here to the near side to Tierney, and then Tierney to Tom Guardi. Here's another look.
Yeah, he drops back behind the line. He's always behind the line of scrimmage. That's the big play, but a great play by Jaworski, the free safety for the Hilltoppers, as he comes up with a huge play.
Well, it's almost like a fast break play. It is indeed basketball on grass out here.
I'll tell you, we ran that on 87th Street. That's the last time I saw that play, about 50 years ago.
3rd and 17 here now for RB.
What a fun team to watch. I'll tell you, these RB fans, now you know why they're so excited. Now you know why everybody thinks they're one of the best teams in the Chicagoland area. They are certainly one of the most exciting teams.
Well, now the officials are momentarily talking to Coach Dan Sharp there on the far sideline.
3rd and 20.
Yeah,
Oh,
third
boy.
now. Chatone Powers comes in motion. Brasic looking deep.
On the slant.
Guardi was wide open. He had a couple steps on Anthony Jutras, but it was overthrown. Oh, my.
He had great separation. Brasic comes over to the coach and he pats himself on the numbers. My fault, coach. It was my fault. I had him. A perfect route, perfect scenario, and he just overthrew him. So he wants to get that one back. It'll bring up a 4th down situation. Is there any doubt that they're going to pass? 4th and 20 from, they're at the 43-yard line. 3 receivers to the top.
9:46 remaining in regulation. 4th down and long.
Blitzes, they're coming.
Brasic lets it go, intended for George, and it's knocked away there defensively. Bobby Buchanan, the safety, knocked it down.
The 5'11", 170-pound sophomore comes up huge for his teammates as he knocked that ball down, and it'll give the ball back over to Joliet Catholic as they'll have a chance to move the ball from their own 43.
There's another look at the end of that play. And
a great play by Buchanan.
Now the big question mark, of course, the Hilltoppers want to pound the ball, run some clock. Can this Riverside Brookfield defense come up with a stop here?
Riverside has to steal the momentum back, and they're counting on their defensive team to do just that.
Greg Tomasino. Split backfield to give is to Zwerzinski. JR rambles across midfield, knocked out of bounds at the 49, and the late flag comes out.
That might be on JR. I can't see from here, but we're so far away from the field, it looked like I saw elbows flying over there.
Well, he was shoved out of bounds. Here, let's take another look. It was about at midfield there.
A good block. Gets out of bounds.
Well, there's a little bit of the right elbow there by Zwerzinski.
Well, but that's as close to a stiff arm or forearm as you're going to get.
Well, they may be calling it an RB here. Maybe
for a hit out of bounds.
Yeah, he was out of bounds. Okay.
He was out of the touch line. Yes, they're moving the chains on the far side, Mark. So probably an unsportsmanlike conduct.
Or a late hit, and he was already out of bounds. Probably is what the call is. Yes.
Oh, that's a huge play.
Wow,
now it's going to move the ball.
Yards.
It's going to move the ball to the 36-yard line on the other side of the midfield line. So they go from the 36 to the 36. They've got possession. Tomasino in now, ready to call the play with the Hilltoppers.
43-36 in favor of the two-time defending champs, Joliet Catholic Hilltoppers. From the 36. Tomasino hands it off to JR. He rambles up the middle, has a first down, and he's still going. Jeremy Jelinek trying to bring him down as he gets inside the 20.
Well, I'll tell you, the fans on the far side of the field, I thank God we're not on that side. Over by the Joliet fans are going nuts on the far side of the field, and right they should, as JR quick hits the hole, opens up the seam. Look at that. He gets into the secondary, plows ahead, leaves tacklers strewn in his past. As he's just pushing ahead, it takes 4 blue shirts to bring him down.
Tom, a 19-yard gain by Zwerzinski. They spotted at the 17-yard line.
300-plus yards last week. He's going to be close to that again. 186 in the first half. I don't know what the stats are now, but it's got to be close.
They give to Gruber this time, and Chris fighting for
nice
yard
play.
as he dives across the 15 to the 14. A 3-yard pickup. 2nd and 7 here for Joliet Catholic. Amazing ball game here tonight in this quarterfinal matchup. Again, the winner of this one will take on the winner of the Rochelle-Vernon Hills game in the state semifinals next week.
Actually, I think that was Hittman that had the gain on that. They looked like Gruber was in the slot on the far side, and they're going to do the same thing. Gruber now at the top of your screen in the wing back, deuce backfield.
Well, this time it's
Zwerzinski, look out. That's a tank, look out.
Looking for the end zone, touchdown. 14 yards out, J.R. Zwerzinski.
Oh, there? You talk about blocking schemes. What great execution by his lineman. And I tell you, this kid is so unselfish. He's so equal to share, so ready to share the glory with his linemen. Here we can see again, not the quick hitter that they had on that first play, but he hits through there. Look at the blocks on there. Oh my God, 66, 74. He does it the last 5 yards himself, but now our score is back to 7-5.
Or 49-36 if you're scoring at home here. 8 minutes and 19 seconds to go here. The Hilltoppers going for the 2-point conversion here. Zwerzinski, and he will get hit. 2-point conversion, no good. Score remains 49-36 in favor of the Hilltoppers.
Well, don't run away into the kitchen too soon, fans, because we got 8 minutes, 19 seconds remaining, and that's a world of time, a lifetime for this RB offense, because they can put them up quickly.
Let's go down on the field to Mike Zaworski. Z-Force, what did he get?
Hey, guys, standing here with Steve Kelp, the defensive lineman for Riverside Brookfield, and Steve out with an injury right now. Steve, what happened?
What happened is, week 9, I rolled my ankle, and then somebody blocked me. And then there was no place for the leg to go, and it just broke.
Okay, and how long of a recovery is expected here?
They said 6 weeks. Hopefully it'll heal fast, and maybe I can get back in the playoff action.
Okay, well, we got to ask you now. We watched you guys play offensively. What's it like in practice with these guys every week?
I got to say, I have no idea. We strictly 2 platoons, so they're on an opposite field of us, and they don't know what we're doing. We don't know what they're doing. So,
what do you think about this game tonight? You got a 14-point lead. Coming into this game, Otto Zeman, what was the game plan for you guys?
Basically, our defensive job is to get the ball back into Tim's hands, and Coach Blue predicted that, if we get 4 stops, we win the game. It's going to be a barn burner. The last team that have the ball is going to win this, I think.
I think you're right by the way the action's going right now. We got to ask one last question here, Big Hoss. Tom Thayer, what is this? He's parking in your driveway. What's going on here?
Actually, my guy who handles my recruiting is really good friends with him, so he brought him over to my house. I heard he's a Hilltopper fan. I'm not really happy about that.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, you ought to be giving that guy a hard time.
I would have charged him parking if I were the parents.
Steve, good luck. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, back upstairs, you guys.
All right, Mike, Steve, thank you very much. 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line for Brasic. He's got his man Powers in the open field. Across midfield, the stiff arm across the 45, still going. What a move to the 36-yard line. Oh, Chatone Powers is just magical to watch after the reception, but he comes up limping here just a little bit.
What a great call by this coaching staff for RB. They throw under the coverage. They're coming with a fast blitz package. They had 5 linemen, and they came with a quarterback. They throw under the coverage. Powers picks it up, and they're going to hurry up offense again. Brasic now. 3 receivers down short.
From the 37, Brasic, and looked like, that was tipped out at the line of scrimmage there. Looked like number 17, Brad Singh, may have gotten a paw on it. It'll bring up 2nd and 10. Well, interesting what
Mike Manor, I think it was Mike Manor, 54. It might have got the first touch on it.
Linebacker, 6 foot, 225-pound junior. Interesting what Steve Kelp was saying, how
Yeah.
the Riverside Brookfield offense and the defense are totally on separate parts of the world. They don't see each other practicing.
Well, Thayer ought to be thankful that the young man's on crutches, or else he might not have any air in his tires when he goes back there being a Hilltopper fan.
Should hit Thayer up for a couple of tickets this Sunday,
you go.
Bears-Packers game, huh? Bracek on 2nd and 10 across the middle.
Oh.
And he's got his man, Matt George, with the first down.
A brilliant call and absolutely perfect execution. George just unhesitatingly comes over the middle in traffic and picks that ball up, and he's hit immediately. Boy, that's a big league play if I ever saw one.
From the 23 of Joliet Catholic, 1st and 10.
Now this is where if RB has any problems, it's inside the 25 from what coaches have told me. There's just no place for the work. He's wide open.
Wide open, and he's got his man, Matt George.
Oh my God.
23 yards from Tim Bracek to Matt George, and the Bulldogs strike back. Well, 49 to 42 now.
Well, it didn't even take 60 seconds for RB to match that touchdown by Zerzwinski. And now they're going to go for 2.
Bracek out of the shotgun, 3 wideouts to the top of your screen. Bracek looks to the left. He's got his man Powers.
Oh,
2-point
wow.
conversion is good. A diving effort in the end zone by Chateau Powers. Oh, 49 to 44.
A 5-point game, I'll tell you.
7:25 for me.
What a ball game. What a ball game. A bullet of a pass. Powers just showing so much athleticism out there tonight. You can't help but be impressed with all these receivers. A great quarterback. Boy, no wonder these RB fans have been so excited about this team throughout the year. A perfect 11-0 record coming in. Now, this may have been the strongest field in terms of the 5A or the old 4A division. Just outstanding teams up and down. They had 2 16-team brackets to start the 32-team playoff in the 5A, and some marvelous teams. There are going to be some great teams in the semifinals. Boy, either of these teams are great representatives for that 5A class of football. And I'll tell you, you fans out there in TV land are getting a great exhibition here of just how good high school football has become in the Chicago area.
Well, now Downs is teeing it up. The Hilltoppers have their sure-handed players. Wrzinski is standing at the 48, so they are certainly anticipating an onside kick here.
They got 9 men inside the 10-yard area.
And
there it is.
Number 11. It's Wrzinski. Did you see him get up in the air? Did
Wow.
he bring it down? At the 46, it looked like J.R. Wrzinski came down with it. Holy cow.
It looked like JR almost got hit before he even had the ball.
6'3". Take a look at him. Number 2, look at him leap to come down with it.
Oh, he's flat out in the air. He gets driven back 6 yards almost in the air.
Let's go down on the field. Mike Zawarski. Mike, what have we got?
Hey guys, you were just talking about Zorzinski jumping up for that play. It's interesting, the Division I schools not recruiting him as a running back, but as a linebacker, oddly enough, because he's not fast enough and because of his athleticism. Back to you guys.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. The give to Chris Gruber. Back to the line of scrimmage. That's about it.
Well, that play was very well diagnosed by RB. They stuffed the play, they stuffed the blocker. A great defensive play there along the line. And Gruber really had nowhere to go, so he goes down, picks up about a yard on the play. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 9 situation. The Hilltoppers at their own 47-yard line. But they want to grind out the clock. They don't want to give the ball back to Bracek. Bracek, we know what he can do with it.
Double handoffs. Wrzinski, and he dives close to that first down marker at the 44. It's going to be close.
Well, a saving tackle there for RB by number 9, Dede. Eric Dede just stuck out an arm and was lucky enough to knock JR off balance, and he fell down, but not before he picked up about 8 on the play. It'll bring up a 3rd and 1. As Tomasino comes back in with the play from the offensive coordinator for the Hilltoppers. 3rd and 1 from the 45.
Hilltoppers with the 5-point lead here. The give. Wrzinski as he dives for a Joliet Catholic first down.
Well, that's what Joliet wants to do, is just run the clock. The clock continues moving. 6:05 remaining here in the fourth quarter. And yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. We only scored 2 touchdowns this quarter.
We are halfway through this fourth quarter, but how much do the Riverside Brookfield Bulldogs miss Steve Kelp, the fine linebacker? Mike talked to him just a couple of moments ago. Steve, of course, with that ankle injury in the final regular season game. 1st and 10, Joliet Catholic from the 43-yard line of RB. Gruber now the ball carrier as he gets across the 40 to the 39. Clock continues to run. 5:40 to go.
Nice play there by number 11, Rysick, for RB as he shed his blocker, was able to force Gruber back into the inside, and then helps with the tackle. Again, this linebacking crew for RB, I'm very impressed with what they've been able to execute. They're a little bit outsized. They're definitely outsized against the defense or the offensive linemen, but they're doing a great job. Very hardy play. 4 down linemen. They're 9 in the box. Look out.
2nd and 6. Zwerzinski spins and he gets about 4 yards. Be
Close.
about a yard shy of that first down marker, it looks like, as he settles down at the 32-yard line, about a yard short.
Well, let's see what the official. I don't know if they're going to bring out the chain or not. It looks like they're going to be satisfied.
Well, yeah, he may have it.
I think so. He's very close. Yeah, the officials are going to make sure here because this is really kind of an important down.
Dan Sharp, the fine head coach here, the Joliet Catholic Hilltoppers. Dan played for Joliet Catholic back in the early 70s, 1972 and 1973, under the legendary coach Gordy Gillespie. Gordy now an assistant coach for Dan Sharp.
Well, he's one of those guys that they're never going to get off the field. Oh, they make it by.
Joliet Catholic.
You know, I tell you, I bet you Dan Sharp really didn't want a first down there. He would have loved to have a 3rd and inches to go, because then they do the quick hitter to JR, and that's when they're the most dangerous, because you get penetration from those cornerbacks on the outside, and as soon as JR breaks the line of scrimmage, he's off and running. So maybe that's the best thing that could have happened to the RB defense. Now they got 10 yards to work with. 1st and 10 from the 32.
5 minutes to go. Zwerzinski, the ball carrier. Zwerzinski with about a 5-yard carry down to the 25-yard line. Can the Bulldog defense come up with a stop? That's the question for the final 4 minutes and 45 seconds.
Well, this is a situation where if you're the defensive coordinator for Riverside Brookfield, you got to start taking some gambles. They've got to start blitzing. You got to start trying getting some of those cornerbacks up and cut off the angle.
Zwerzinski, the ball carrier from the 26. He spins inside the 15-yard line. He'll pick up another first down inside the 20, I should say, to the 19. They'll move the chains.
Well, we can see on the Riverside Brookfield sideline, Brasic just standing there with all of his receivers. Tierney's down there, Powers nearby. They're ready to go. They're just waiting for the ball to get back in the hands of the blue and white so that they can get that offense out there and put some more points on the scoreboard. They trail by 5 with 4:11 left in the ball game.
From the 19-yard line of Riverside Brookfield. This is Gruber, the ball carrier. Gruber
what a hit.
After about a yard on the play, it was number 55 for Riverside Brookfield, Kevin Koronkowski, I should say. Kevin.
Wow, watch this hit, Mark. What a hit.
Junior.
Oh, my goodness. He sheds a block and then makes a head-on tackle. Oh, that hurt up here. I heard that one. Turn down the volume on your sets if you're going to watch that replay, folks. All right,
Actually,
big
I take that
play.
back. That was Pete Harris, number 65, with the hit. 2nd and 9. Double handoff. Zwerzinski as he dives inside the 15 to the 14. 4-yard pickup. This will bring up a 3rd and about 5 yards to go. As we approach the 3-minute mark.
Well, I'll tell you, all the broadcasters up here tonight, we got all the news media up here. JOL's broadcasting the game back to the Joliet community. I tell you, we need oxygen up here. I'm just about out of breath. And we haven't played a single down ourselves.
Under 3 minutes. 3rd and 5 from the 14.
There's the gamble.
And Zwerzinski inside the 10 to the 9.
Well, there was the gamble. RB just simply missed the call. They thought he was going to come inside the guard. He went outside the guard. and just off the tackle.
Well, they're going to come out and measure this one here. Well, this one's going to be awful close. Can't tell from up here.
No, it's a real close call. Our angle from where we are up here about, probably a good 25, 30 feet off the ground in the top of the press box on the west side of the field. And it's enough for the first down. And boy, I'll tell you, the fans on the far side of the field for Joliet are absolutely jubilant, because that's a big first down. It's going to bring up 1st and goal with the best running offense perhaps in the state knocking on the door. They lead by 5. They want to stretch that lead.
With 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in this one, Joliet Catholic looking to three-peat as state champions. Looking to knock off the #1 unbeaten RB Bulldogs. Wierzinski inside the 5, barreling, looking for the end zone as he gets to about the 1. 2nd and goal.
2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in this ball game. We've had 13 touchdowns in this ball game. Talk about offense, and yet some of the great defensive plays that have been out here.
Let's go down on the field. Mike Zaworski with more. Mike.
It's really interesting. Otto Zeman just yelling to his team, let them score, let them score. The rationale being, let them score, we get the ball back, go down, get the score, and then come back with the immediate onside kick. I've never seen anything like it. This is ridiculous.
All right, Mike. Well, he's got a pretty good point.
Well, it makes a good point. As unorthodox as it's been, it's orthodox for them, okay?
Yeah, right.
You got to look at the source on this thing. A traditional kind of setting for the Joliet Catholic team. They come at you with that deuce backfield, even a T formation backfield sometimes. They'll throw a wing out there, but then they're going to run at you. They run inside the tackles. Just a traditionally strong, Joliet type of offense, the typical Catholic League offense. And then they run up against Riverside Brookfield with 5 receivers set. I mean, they got 5 linemen trying to keep 5, defenders out of the backfield. Just a great contrast of styles, and yet we've got 13 touchdowns in this ball game, and it may come down to whoever has the final touch on the ball.
Well, Tom, they actually spotted at the 2, so it'll be 2nd and goal. Hilltoppers, 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in this 5A quarterfinal matchup. What a game it has been.
The touchdown, I almost can see the touchdown here. It's the extra point that really is going to matter.
Wierzinski, and he gets in untouched. 2 yards out.
It looked like he had a free pass on that one.
Yeah.
Nobody even touched him as he scooted over the touchdown from there and makes it an easy 6 points. But as I said before, I tell you, this extra point is huge.
99 points on the board here tonight.
And you were laughing.
Yeah, 55-44. Favor of the Hilltoppers. Joliet Catholic now with the 11-point lead. Going for the 2-point conversion here to make it 13. Well, it looks like now they're going to go for the 1 point. Jaworski to hold. Tomasino in for the extra point. Jaworski with the hold. Extra point by Tomasino is good. 56-44. There's your 100 points, Tom.
Boy, I'll tell you, I never would have guessed that. I mean, even in a high school game, 100 points over and under, forget it. But I'll tell you, 2 great teams, and I'll tell you, the defense, it's not that the defense have played that badly. It's just been great calling, great coaching on the offense, on both sides of the offensive set here. I mean, we're talking 14 touchdowns in this ball game.
I mean, you look at the 2 defenses, Riverside Brookfield allowing only 14.6 points per game throughout the season. Joliet Catholic's defense giving up a little over 10 points per game. So these are pretty good defenses out there.
Yeah, and coaches like Dan Sharp and Otto Zeman, I mean, whenever they're up on their opponents and they've had some lopsided victories, they're going to give those younger guys a chance to play. They got sophomores and maybe some juniors who are going to be big-time starters next year. Those guys all get a lot of playing times in those games. So, sometimes you're going to give up points that really don't mean anything. When you win 44-7, what does that touchdown mean? It doesn't mean a lot. It gets you a lot of experience for the young men that maybe don't get as much playing time in this ball game. Well, the wind knocks the ball. I don't know where the wind came from.
Now we got Powers.
Might have been just some bad mojo working down there.
Powers, Guardi.
Tomasino's going to tee it up again as we get some switching here.
Matt George all deep for the Bulldogs.
They obviously don't want to kick at the Powers. He's been so close to breaking one here.
Yes.
They lead by 12, and they'll kick it away.
Yep, Guardi will step up at the 22. Wait for a couple of blockers and returns it to the 34-yard line. Clock stops with exactly 2 minutes and 2 seconds remaining. The Bulldogs trailing 56-44.
Good penetration, or great special teams play there as Joliet Catholic just filling their lanes as they came down. There was just nowhere to break it out. We see big Mike Kaloji, number 90, right in the middle of the defensive line. He'll be lining up at right guard, right tackle, right defensive tackle. They got 4 down linemen. Brasic ready now.
Powers comes in motion here to the near side. 1st and 10 from their own 35. Brasic, and the pass incomplete, intended for Guardi. The coverage, Anthony Jutras. Pretty nice play.
Well, that was that setup play that they had before, that drop off where they throw to the receiver and then drop it back to Powers on the run.
We may see that play one more time here tonight. 1:58 remaining. Here's another look.
Yeah, just good coverage, good defensive play there by Joliet to stop that play, or else that would have been a very dangerous play because Powers had a head of steam going. Brasic now, 2nd down.
From their own 35, 2nd and 10. Brasic looks, now gets flushed out here to the near side, throws, and he's got his man Powers, who cuts up across the 40 to the 43. It's going to be about a yard shy of the 1st down.
Well, he was over the 1st down marker and then had to come back for the ball when the play kind of broke up. And there really wasn't much that he could do. You know, he had already committed himself to come back towards the goal, to the quarterback. So it's going to bring up a very important 3rd and 1 here.
From the 43-yard line, wide receivers, 3 to the top. Brasic on the draw.
Oh, what a play.
Not going to get it. Oh, Chris Jeske, the freshman linebacker, came up to bring down Brasic.
What a play. I'll tell you, that may be the play.
Here's another look at it, Tom.
That's going to break it. Jeske just steps in, fills the hole, and what an open field tackle. Not an easy thing to do, especially in a big ball game like this for a freshman, a 14-year-old freshman out there starting for Joliet Catholic. That's the kind of athletes that they bring to that school.
Should mention a couple other area ball games of note in Class 8A. Coach Bunge's Naperville Central Redhawks at Conant tomorrow night. The Cougars 9-2. Naperville Central, the number 1 seed. Other 8A action. Wheaton North, the Falcons, knocking off Hinsdale Central last week. They're at home again against Warren. Downers Grove South, my alma mater, start off the season 1-2. 8 straight wins for Coach Belskis. They're at home tomorrow afternoon against Sandburg. By the way, congratulations to the Sandburg Eagles soccer team winning the state title. 1-0 over Edwardsville. The other 8A matchup, Maine South, the defending state champ Hawks, are at home tomorrow afternoon against Stevenson.
I'll tell you, all of those very exciting games. I mean, just like this game here tonight. I'll tell you, nobody's left the stadium yet. We're afraid what this offense can do. A huge 4th down situation. 4th and 2 from the 43-yard line. Brasic will take a direct snap.
For the first time under center.
Fakes it. Throws it outside.
He's got his man. That's Brandon Davis. And Davis has a 1st down to the 45-yard line of Joliet Catholic. A new wrinkle in the offense. Now a hurry-up offense.
I'll tell you, talk about orthodox and unorthodox. You think about something so traditional as a quarterback taking a direct snap. That's unorthodox for these guys.
From Brasic 44 now, Tom, of Joliet Catholic. Brasic looks here to the near side.
Wide open.
Guardi. Oh, and he gets tripped off at the 30-yard line. Boy, I hope he's going to come up okay. The hit there by Jake Jaworski.
He was just
hanging
in the air. Now, it was a fair hit.
Yeah.
It's just that he was so far up in the air that when he came down, his legs got kind of buckled under on the tackle by Jaworski.
Oh, boy, he comes jogging up to the top of he is in
I'll tell you, a man of steel. The kid, there's no way he's coming out of this ball game.
Minute 2 to go. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line of Joliet Catholic. Brasic looking to the right.
He's got him wide open.
Touchdown!
Oh, there he is.
30 yards from Brasic to Matt George. And the Bulldogs are within 6, 56-50, with 51 seconds remaining.
Well, how is this for drama? I'm telling you, George was so wide open. He could have stopped and had a cup of tea and still made the catch.
Well, Mike Jaworski touchdown. He said, Coach Seaman said, hey, for the Hilltoppers to go ahead and let them score so they can get the ball back. And now, how important will this onside kick upcoming?
Well, they're going to go for the 1 point here. It's a 6-point ball game, 56-50.
Joe Coy's number 46, Joe Koya, I should say, in for the extra point attempt. Matt Tierney to hold. And Koya's extra point is no good. Yeah, he pulled it to the left here.
Yeah.
Score remains 56-50 with 51 seconds remaining. And wow, Riverside Brookfield looking for the onside kick now. Joliet Catholic looking to cover it up.
I see on the sideline, Girardi's down here with the trainer. He did get his ankle. He's having his ankle retaped. That's one man. They're going to have to get Girardi back in the ball game. They're going to need to get possession on this kickoff and then get number 80 back in the ball game. He is the big-time receiver, and he was definitely hurt on that play we talked about on the reception just preceding the touchdown. But George, with 4 touchdowns on the night, having a great evening. What a ball game. Well, I tell you, I need some oxygen, man. Mark, you got to get me some help here, man.
Hey, get there, pal. We got 51 seconds left. We'll make it here.
51 seconds. That's a lifetime with these kids. I'm telling you, these kids could stretch 51 seconds into an hour and a half.
All right,
56-50. Wow.
Watch it unfold here. Ryan Dowlins teeing it up at the 40-yard line, number 50. It got knocked off momentarily, so he'll come up and reset it. Swerzinski, number 2, is standing at the 48, right in the middle.
They got 9 men in the box. Joliet Catholic has 9 men almost at the line of scrimmage. They got sure hands up there, all DBs and linebackers.
Well, we'll see if it's Dowlins or number 11.
Who knows what they're going to do?
It's
There's
11,
the kick.
Rysek with the onside.
It didn't go 10 yards.
It didn't go 10 yards. RB picked it up, but it didn't
fumble.
10 yards.
He touched the ball and hit the receiver.
Oh, it's RB's ball.
Oh, can you believe it?
It must have hit a hilltopper. Oh,
I think it hit number 99.
We can take another look. Jim Jodron. Here's another look.
It didn't go 9.
All right, but it
did touch it.
So it is a loose ball. The Bulldogs come up with it.
So they make the bad kick and get the ball back. What a play. Hang on, folks. We got a lifetime left.
Oh, my, the officials.
The officials are going to hold. No, I don't think the officials did. I think Joliet calls timeout.
All right, so the Hilltopper, yeah.
They want to regroup.
Joliet Catholic calls a timeout. We'll take a timeout as well. We'll take a breath.
Oh, boy.
Come back for the final 49 seconds right after this.
Stay tuned. Bulldog Classics will be back right after this.
Welcome back here to Shuey Stadium. Mark Kruger along with Tom Bonnet. We were just talking a second ago. You said it, the team that has the ball last could come away with it.
Well, I'll tell you, they got a 6-point lead. And the last time I looked in the rule book, you get 6 points for a touchdown. And then anything can happen. Anything can happen. Well, they got to get 6 points first. Remember, Joliet does have the 6-point lead. Brasic has the ball.
RB has to go 53 yards to hit Painter.
Oh, they're going to take a timeout.
56-50 in favor of Joliet Catholic. The onside kick for the first time tonight was successful for the Bulldogs. They take over at their own 47.
Well, both teams. This is almost like the last minute of a basketball game with one team pressing, the other guy's got to get the ball in the 3-point range. You know what they're going to do. It's just a question of can you stop them.
Let's go down to Mike Zawarski. Mike, what have you got?
Guys, one other perspective on this. Everybody's saying, I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like this. I'd argue with that. Remember the Bears the last 2 weeks, you could see it all over again. One other thought, player of the game. Oh, God, it's got to be Brasic, and if it's the other side, Swerzinski. Back to you guys.
Oh, no doubt about that, Mike. Yes.
Oh, I tell you, I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean,
there's so many incredible individual efforts here, and we're not done yet. First and 10, Bulldogs from their own 47. Tierney,
double throw
again. Guardy, no,
almost
incomplete.
Guardy was back in the ballgame. I told you they got to get that young man in the ballgame. His ankle's taped up. He looks like he's got dancing boots on out there, but he's on the field.
His left foot is heavily taped. There you take
and
a
he's
look
limping
at
back. You can see him limping back there. A great shot by the guys down there. I mean, obviously he's in pain. There's no doubt about it. But he's just shaking it off, boy. Talk about guts. I mean, there's a young man that you got to be proud of if he's on your team. if he's in your community, well, this just speaks so well of this Riverside Brookfield community. Back to the action.
2nd and 10 from the 47. Brazic looking to the far side this time.
Double coverage. He got the ball. He caught the ball. Oh, he's tackled.
5-yard line. 50 yards from Tim Brazic to Matt George. Wow, what an effort. Here's another look at it, Tom. Look at him leap.
Oh, he just takes it away. Double coverage, and he comes away with the play. What a play by George.
35 seconds remaining.
They got a lifetime. They can make 6 plays in 35 seconds. He's got to be careful. He doesn't want to throw the interception.
Chaton Powers through his hands, incomplete. Anthony Jutras was there on the coverage. 2nd and goal from the 6.
I'll tell you, if I was making the offensive calls, I'd put Powers on the left side here at the hash mark, and I'd tell him to go one-on-one and just watch him. Throw him the ball. Him and George, I'll tell you, all you got to do is throw it in their zip code. They'll bring it down. I'll tell you, both of those kids, they'd be a great advertisement for the post office, wouldn't they? Just throw it in his zip code. He'll catch it.
Powers, Tierney, and Guardi here to the near side.
Single man coverage.
2nd and goal. Brazic from the 6, looking to his left. Still looking, pump fake.
Now he throws it away.
For the corner, and Guardi out of bounds.
Great coverage, Mark. Tremendous coverage by Joliet Catholic. What a great defensive call. Man-to-man coverage, everybody with their marks. What happened is they had Tierney, number 7, was in the slot, and he did a delay action, and that's what allowed him to have man coverage plus an extra safety.
3rd and goal, Bulldogs from the 6.
The only thing that matters here is 3rd down. That's all that matters.
Yes.
2 more downs to get in pay dirt.
Brazic looking to his left.
Good
Steps
pursuit.
up.
He'll
He
step
runs.
up.
Brazic dives
Down
at
at the 2. There may not be any timeouts left.
18 seconds.
The clock is running 16 seconds. They're going to call timeout.
I don't think
there's some confusion out there. There's no timeout. The clock's running 5. This is the last play of the ball game. Can they get the snap off? There's motion.
Brazic looking, and
it's knocked down. It's knocked down off the end. That's the end of the ball game. Oh my God. A tremendous defensive play out there.
Chris Meinerich in the end zone knocked it away. The Joliet Catholic Hilltoppers will move on to the state semifinals. Can you believe this finish? Take another look.
Brazic with no time on the clock throws the ball. He intended George, and what a play. Number 9.
Chris Meinerich.
Oh my Lord, the play of the game. I'll tell you, that was the biggest play of the game, maybe the biggest play of the season as Meinerich comes through with the touch away.
We'll take a step aside. We'll collect our breath and come back to Shuey Stadium. The Hilltoppers will move on.
Final score, 56-50. Your Bulldogs, not quite able to pull out a W on this one. Tough game between the Hilltoppers and the Bulldogs. Well, fought out to the very end. Coach Zeman, significant moments. I mean, what do you got?
There were a lot of significant moments, but there's 3 that really stand out in my mind. And one, as Joliet Catholic was driving at the end of the 4th quarter, they were winning 49-44.
Okay.
And they were about on our 7-yard line, and we yelled in to let them score because that's the only chance. If they would have gotten a first down inside the 4-yard line or 3-yard line, and they could have run 4 plays, we never get the ball back. The only chance we had was to let them score, and then we had to score 2 times in the last minute and 30 or whatever it was, which we could do. I knew we could do that. So we had to take a timeout because the kids on defense wouldn't let them. They were proud, they're battling, and really a bad coaching point. We really hadn't gone over it with the kids. They didn't understand that that's a thing. Now, since then, we did it all the time, but we had to take a timeout, let them score. Then we get the ball back, and in the first 4 downs, we end up on a 4th down play. That was the only snap that Tim took under center.
That's right.
The whole game, and we did a little bootleg. We faked it, and he ran threw the ball. Yeah. So that was kind of different. I remember the announcers went crazy. They said, he's under center. And then after we got the first down, we scored, and we onside kicked, and so now we missed the extra point, so it's 56-50, and we get the onside kick. So Joliet Catholic took a timeout, and then I made the biggest mistake of my coaching career. Is I'm walking off, I looked at their defense, and they changed. They went to like a 3-deep look, which is a different look, and so then I took a timeout so that our kids knew. And so when Matt George made the great run down to the 6, we were out of timeouts. And that was really, I don't like to talk about it, but I have to accept, that I made the bad decision there. But then, Dan, you can probably tell us how you felt in those last couple minutes.
Sure, what's going through your head at this point?
First of all, we saw that they let them score, and our offensive linemen really appreciated that. They got one play off there. Yeah. But I knew exactly what Coach Otto was thinking there. He's thinking, hey, possessions are more important than points right now. And that's when I turned to my defensive line coach, who's also our special teams coach, saying, I don't know if we could get another onside kick the way they're doing this. And we better stop them this series. Well, Coach Zeman explained what happened. RB goes in to score, as you saw, and then they get the onside kick, which I think was now. I don't know. I mean, I can remember J.R. Zazinski, our great running back, standing helpless on the sideline like this can't be. This is how it's going to end. We felt like both teams played such a great game the whole game, and obviously we were in the lead most of the time. So this was the first time that we felt it was out of our control almost.
Yeah.
And a play of the game that I thought is we have a sophomore, Bobby Buchanan. There's a defensive back, as Coach Zeman was saying, we added another defensive back there, changed up our coverage a bit. Timmy made a perfect pass, as you saw, to George on the sideline, who split two guys. They ran it, and he caught him from behind. And I think that was one of the biggest plays of the game. And then a young man that Tim torched all day, our corner, Minerich, who George was just running by, ends up making the diving stop in the last. Everybody said it was going to go down to the last play of the game, and it did. And then I leaped with joy, and I ended up being the only guy in the training room because I tore my hamstring at the end of it. But it was a moment that I think is now 10 years from now as we look back, and I talk with Coach Zeman about it, you just appreciate what a great high school football game it is. And I think so many people can look upon it, as Coach Zeman was saying earlier, the fans, the officials, the players. It was such well played, and it was such great respect on both sides of the field. We have the utmost respect for Coach Zeman and Tim and a great team, and we just felt that we were part of something that's very special. And it really doesn't matter who won or lost that game. Well, it does a little bit, but but the point being is that what mattered was you were part of something that was just unbelievable, and people will talk for it long after we're gone. They'll still be talking about this football game.
Absolutely. Tim, last thoughts. What's going through your head at this point? This is a tough loss.
Well, there was so much that happened, but I think what people forget is our one Achilles heel of our offense was when you're really close to the end zone. Because when you have a passing offense, you want to use angles, you want to create high lows on linebackers, and we got down to the 2 or 3 yard line, and we really couldn't do it. So it was kind of tough. The goal line play we had at the end was open. If I would have caught it and thrown it a little sooner, we would have had it. But I just remember when Minerich hit the ball down, I had my one knee down, and it ended so fast. It was like surreal. I just had so many thoughts like, wow, I'm never going to play high school football again. And it was awesome, and the stats were great. We set state records, but the moral of the story is we did lose. And
and I know from our standpoint, when the game ended, it's one of those moments that it's etched in all the things you say, they came true. But I was so proud of our kids because I knew it hurt. I remember there's a picture, and the next day it was either the Tribune or the Sun Times where Tim was on his knees, and you could just see the pain. But our guys handled it with class. The Joliet Catholic guys, and I knew we scared them. I knew we put the fear in them, and I knew they were looked at a loss. They were looking at a loss, but you know what? They were really champions at the end because they won with class, and that's the hardest thing to get kids to do. And that's when your respect for coaches and their staffs grows, because the kids really are their coaches. They act like their coaches, and it was like a perfect game. And I know even though we lost him, the reputation, what RB football is, it'd be great if they won a state championship someday, but our whole identity is that game, and that we were able to stand up and play and be in a great game, and everyone conducted themselves the way you should. And like I said, you can't have two teams competing with fans just intermingled like that, and they behaved. I mean, there was all kinds of chances for people to yell at each other. It was just awesome. It was a great environment to be part of.
Yeah.
And I think we truly showed that it doesn't matter your size, because we could never run the ball against Joliet Catholic. I know some people always question Coach Zeman how they threw the ball, but when he put in the spread offense, it was to beat a team like that. And it just shows in sports, whether it's football or basketball, it's awesome to see such a beautiful contrast of a team that's so big and so strong. It's almost like David and Goliath, And we just came out with the slingshot, and I just threw my stones, and they came out and just pounded. And it's just awesome to see two tempos go at each other like that and have them both be successful.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's all the time we got for today. This is Bulldog Classics. I'm with Jeb. Little wrap up. Coach Zeman on the right side. We got Tim Brasic over here, the QB, and Dan Sharp from Joliet Catholic. Thanks, guys, for being on the show. Unbelievably great game, going down in history as one of the greatest high school football games ever. And that's all we got.
Thanks.
Good night.